Hello, everybody. How is everybody tonight? Can everybody see okay? All right, here we go. Let's see what the lag time here is on this. Oh, we got double audio, so let me turn that off. It's supposed to be in my headset, but there you go. All right, so I'm just going to see real quick what the lag time is on my screen to yours. So we're about 3, 4, 5 seconds behind. Okay. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to the YouTube live stream for Rob's Nerdy Knives. Let's see here. How many people do we have? So far we have 6, 7 people joined us. Welcome everybody. Let's see here. Who do we have in the... We have Rocky. Welcome Rocky. Spencer or I want to say Spencer. I don't know why I put a P in there. Sensor 226, Ginger Fisher 75, Mind Milton, Dane. I'm gonna not pronounce it correctly, so Dane. I hope you will forgive me, but I'm gonna try it. Gavrilovsky. I don't know if that's even close, and if I didn't, I apologize. I really do try to pronounce that. I want to say Gavrilovsky. I'm hoping that's close. Got Danny Sims. Welcome, Danny. We've got Drewby Tunes Originals. Cool. Welcome, Drewby. And I think that's everybody I've said hello to so far. Welcome, y'all. Can everybody hear me okay? Is the audio coming through well? I think it was when I was testing it. Let me move my mic a little bit here to see if it gives you a little better sound. All right, well, welcome. This is the Monday night giveaway. And this is kind of a special giveaway because tonight we're going to be giving away a first knife that I have been given by a manufacturer. I'm super excited about that and super honored by that. For you guys, I don't know if you know, but Artisan Cutlery actually ended up giving us a, well, at least gave the channel. Let me try that again. Sorry, I was just locked up my keyboard here. Artisan Cutlery gave Rob's Nerdy Knives a channel to review, a knife to review, and then I asked them, do I send it back to you or what do we do? And they said, well, you can give it away. So it's a giveaway tonight. So tonight we're going to be giving away the CJRB Pyrite. And I don't know if you know, CJRB is part of Artisan Cutlery. It's their budget line, all right? And I have a couple of three CJRBs right here. One of them is sort of in between CJRB and Artisan Cutlery. This is a limited edition, so it is definitely the CJRB Pyrite, the first one, but this is the limited edition with the titanium scales with the inlaid micarta and the S35 VN blade steel. So this is a little nicer version. It's got the middle deep pocket carry clip. Definitely a limited edition. They made a few of those, and once they were done, they were done. I think this particular one, let me see if I can see it. Yeah, my knife's a little dirty because I use these, right? So let me see if I can clean that off. This one here is 51 of 60. So they made 60 of these at least. All right, we have 10 now. Let's see who else joined us. So we have Dane, welcome. Where's hello, Dane? Brian, welcome, Brian. Ginger, I already said hello to Danny. I believe I said hello to, if I didn't, Danny, welcome. I don't know if I did say hello to Danny. I think there was another Dan or somebody there. But anyways, all right. Welcome, y'all. Mind of Milton, welcome. How are you tonight, Milton? Or I don't know if you go by Mind of Milton or Milton, but either way, welcome. So I just have a few things out here, some, again, the eye candy thing, and we'll be probably doing the drawing around 7:30. So for anybody who's wondering, that's about the time that I'm going to start drawing. But I will go over, for you guys who are the early folks, I will kind of go over the rules real quick. So if you're not familiar with this giveaway, it's a live event. It means you should be here when we do the drawing. And the way you enter is you have to go to the description. And I'm going to get out my iPad here, and we will take a look. Let me get to the video. So make sure the volume is off. All right, so here's the video, right? We're in the video right now, so it's going to be like a video within the video and within the video kind of thing here. What you want to do is you want to hit more, okay? The more section, which is going to get you over here to the description area. Over here, there's a little link right here. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to go bring it down. There's a little link right there. Do y'all see that? That is the link you want to click on. This is the entry video. You want to go here and enter. If you would please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. I assume most of you have. At least if you want to comment, you need to subscribe. But then also right here, this is where you would need to leave a comment, okay? It just needs to be a clean comment. When I mean by clean, like PG, it just has to be something that YouTube's not going to filter out, because YouTube will filter out, you know, if it's profanity, if there's certain keywords, and whatever those keywords are at the moment, you just got to be careful, right? So just make it a PG comment. You know, you could say, I like knives, or, you know, I like watching YouTube. I don't know, whatever you want to say. It can be funny, or it can be nice, whatever. And you do that, then you're entered. Now, one entry per person. I'll filter out duplicate entries. So if you want to leave multiple comments, you're welcome to, but you're just going to have one entry, all right? So I just want to make sure I'm real clear on that. I've already got several comments here, so thank you guys. Appreciate the comments already. And that's it. And then you can come back to the video, to the live stream, and then you can chat here as we're doing already right here. So that is it. All right. Yeah, and did you, oh, is that my Instagram? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mind and Milton. Let's see here. Who else? Level on up. Hey, welcome, level on up. Thank you. Thank you for joining. We're up to 12 so far, so we'll go a little bit before we do much more. But that's how you enter. Now, everybody, I think here, a lot of familiar names. So I'm going to just, for anybody who's new, I'll just go real quick over the rules if you haven't already seen them. It's pretty simple. Got to be 18 years old. You must contact me within 7 days via the email address. That's when you're providing me your mailing address. Now, you have to be present here to win. If you're not here present, we'll draw again, but I'll give 5 minutes for you to respond. But just need you guys to email me and give me your mailing address, because I will use that address that you provide. I'll cut and paste it right into my USPS app. I'll create a flat rate, small flat rate label from that. Just paste it in there. I'm not going to edit it or anything. And then I'll go ahead and ship it out to you guys. Now, by contacting me, if you were picked and you're the winner, by contacting me, you're going to acknowledge that, you know, the knife is complies with your state and local knife laws. That is your acknowledgement. And then you have to confirm. We have to go through one step to confirm that it is truly you. It's very simple. I'll give you the directions. Whoever wins, it really is really quick and simple. The last winner just received their knife today. Don't know if they're here today, but the person, at least it said it was delivered today. But then that's it. Then you're entered. Now, this is my email address to contact me for the winners. And if you guys have any questions or anything you want to contact me about, feel free to email me there as well. That's fine. And you just have to have a USA address. If you're out of the country, I don't, it's fine as long as I can mail it to somewhere in the USA, okay? And if they want to mail it to you, or you come back to pick it up in the USA or whatever, that's between you and them. I just need to mail it to someone in the USA. That's the address I need to do as far as for legal purposes, okay? So that's really it. Pretty simple. Does it seem okay for everybody? Welcome, Drooby Tunes. I like that, Drooby Tunes. That's cool. Mind and Milton, Dwayne, Brian, we saw, yep. Dwayne, I don't know, Dwayne, I don't know if I said hello yet, but hello. Leela, hello, Leela. Welcome this evening. Welcome. So, out of curiosity, while we're waiting, what's everybody carrying today? What are your knives that are on you? I can tell you what I carried today. I carried, it's one of these right here. It was one of the, yeah. I carried my We Knives Trogon. I really like that one, the Brian Brown design. So this is the one that I carry today. One of my favorites. I really do enjoy this knife a lot. Somebody was carrying a Lago. Now, was it the red one or did you get the black one? I wanted to get the, if I was going to get the red one, I wanted the black blade, or I'd wanted black on silver. CV Mini Bull Mastiff. Okay, cool. Small Sabenza, nice. Black micarta inlay. Magna Cut. Oh, you got the Magna Cut blade. How's that Magna Cut holding up? Kaiser Begletter. Okay, with a in the frag titanium. Nice. Very, very, very cool. A mini big letter with a frag titanium. Cool. The whippersnapper. Oh, Rocky. Oh, there goes that whippersnapper. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I looked at that this week. I'm not going to even confess how many times I looked at that one. I came close a few times. I'm glad I didn't. I kept saying, no, no, no. I want to be able to sleep in my bed tonight. I don't want my wife kicking me out. I'll have to go give plasma for like a year to make up for that. That's a little joke there. All right, SOG XR, Terminus, cool. Civivi Backlash, nice. What now? A Fenar. What is a Fenar? I don't know what that is, Rocky. Is that? Oh, a Concept Fenar. Okay, I'll have to look that one up. I'm not familiar with that one. Matter of fact, I'm gonna look that up real quick, if you don't mind, because I'm kind of curious. I've been eyeing some of those concept ones. I've been kind of curious. Some of them look really, really interesting. So FE, let me spell that. FE, where to go? NNIR. All right, so this one right here, I got you. Very cool. Probably not this design, but at least the shape, right? That's the one. That's cool. All right, so we got, what else do we have? Yeah, by the way, if you want shop at White Mountain Knives, you get 10% off using my little RNK10 code, by the way. That's really nice. Save some money. It's a benefit to you guys and helps out the channel. I also have a couple of coupons. If you saw in my thing, I'm an affiliate now with We Knives and with Vostede. And with is it We Knives or Vostede? I have a discount code. Oh, no, Artisan Cutlery. First purchase, you get, I think, 8% off, and then 5% off your total purchase now. At least that's what they're offering recently. That coupon was still valid. A bug out, cool. I like bug outs. I have one. I have a bug out. I have a 535-4. It's the aluminum mill scaled one. I really like that one. That was actually my very first real knife. I mean, getting into nicer knives. I did get a bug out. I really like that. And my camera is crooked, so let's see if we can fix that. Oh, we're going the wrong way. Let's see here. You know, using my phone to do the YouTube live, it's a little bit of a pain because I don't actually get to see exactly where it is, and I have to take it off to turn it on. So, got to get a better clip from my phone. So, what else do we have? Bug out. See, what else do we have? The Damascus. I do like the Damascus. Yeah. Damasteel is one of my favorites, but I like Chad Nichols. His Damascus stuff is ridiculous. There's one that he does, I believe it's called a teardrop one. That still blows me away. That one is just insane, the design in that. But I'm sure there's more that are even crazier than that. We got the Flytanium micarta bug out. All right, very cool. Well, thank you, Danny. I appreciate that. The Damn Design Fenar. Okay. So is that by Damn Designs, the Fenar? They actually have a variant of that, of the Fenar, the Concept Fenar? That's interesting. All right. I mean, you know, I've experienced a lot of knives, but there's so many knives I have yet to even experience and know about. And that's what I love about this. There's just so many things out there. And, you know, everyone kind of goes with what your aesthetic is, what you like, what you enjoy, what's your cup of tea, right? Everyone has a little different, likes. Like, this is sort of my aesthetic. Some of these things, when I first started, I would not have liked at all. Some of them, matter of fact, when I first saw them, I thought they were stupid. Just to be honest, full disclosure, I didn't care for them. And then when you got to handle them and saw the logic behind the design, you're like, man, that's not so bad after all. So like, this is a new one right here. This is the Love Them Knives. This is the Result. This is the guy who has his own YouTube channel. This is a design, well, the OEM is We Knives. And if you're familiar with the Ziphius and some of those other ones, I don't have a Ziphius, but I can imagine that the button lock is very similar because it's got a strong, I want to say detent, but plunge lock resistance. I don't know what you want to call it. It's really not a detent because it's a plunge lock, right? But it's pretty good. It's pretty snappy. And then it has a fuller to reverse flick. You can get a really nice snappy full reverse flick and everything. And it's not a super thick blade, but it has a really nice thin edge coming out there and very comfortable ergos. Really, really comfortable. That was kind of fun. The Para 3 lightweight. Okay, I like the Para 3. I have a Para 3 and a Paramilitary 2, so I like both of those. The CRG Feldspar. Yeah, now is that the large or the little one? I have the large one. I didn't know that there was a large and a little one. I got this one because it was a White Mountain Knives exclusive. This is the red fat carbon and M390 blade steel on this one. And I thought it was one size, and when I got it, I was like, man, that is a big knife. And then it turns out, apparently that, oh, my knives are dirty because I do carry these guys. So, if you guys freaked out by being dirty, it's because I use them. But this is much bigger than the regular Feldspar. That's for sure. But I do like it. I really do like it a lot. Open L8. Open L8. There you go. Well, if you love the Open L, embrace the Open L. That's not quite a not quite a knife for me. That one's a little unique. Now, I will tell you, one of my I guess Safe Queens is the knife that my dad bought. He bought a fixed blade knife before World War II, and that one's pretty special. It's almost 100 years old, and so all my sons all want to inherit that when I pass away. But it is not the highest quality knife. That one it's probably by today's standards not a great knife, but it's the most meaningful, right? It has a lot of sentimental value because it was my dad's knife. Oh, Polish custom knives. Oh man, yes. So which one are you talking about for Polish custom knives? Are you talking about like the Hermans, or are you talking about a couple of the other ones that they showcase there, Rocky? Yeah, the Hermans mainly. Yeah, those Hermans are nice. I really wanted to get one of those mini. What is it called? You probably know the mini. I'm gonna have to look it up. I can't quite remember. I look at that and I try not to remember too much because when I see the price of everything, I'm like, oh, that's not quite for me. But I do have a goal someday. Honestly, I do have a goal someday to buy one of the Hermans. Yeah, I think it's the Mini Sting. Is there one that's called a Mini? Let's see here. Where are we? So I'm on Polish custom knives. So where is the? Okay, so I need to find Tactical Survival Legends. All right, this is a little different than what I'm normally on. Well, anyways, yeah, the Micro Sting. Yeah, thank you, Micro Sting. That's it. Yep, the Micro Sting. That one looks like about, the Sting or the Micro Sting look about the size that I would want to get. The Sting is not too bad. That one's only around 8 inches. There was one there I thought that was almost 9 or 10 inches, and that seemed a little big. But the Micro Sting and the Sting seemed reasonable to me. And I would probably get it, just with an M398 steel or something like that, with the just a regular, not any fancy Timascus scales, because I'd want to carry it. If I'm going to buy something like that, that would be a knife that I would actually carry. And that would be the goal of what, if I buy something like that. Oh, so you want the full dressed up one. I think I saw, was it Metal Complex that had one of those? I mean, man, he had a really dressed up one. I always enjoy watching his stuff because, those are knives that I most likely may never buy. I say that now. And these knives I thought I would never buy. So who knows where we are from 5-10 years from now, right? It could all change by right. I'd say I'd never spend a certain amount, and here we are. But the nice thing is, a lot of times these knives, they some of them you can resell and you can keep buying other knives. So it's not too terrible, especially if you get some good ones that have some value to people and have some appeal. That's kind of cool. Yeah, he has some great knives. He has some ridiculously great knives. Now, he's really into those big knives. And honestly, that's not one of my aesthetics. Just like I know some of you guys are going to freak out. I'm not a Rick Hinderer fan. I know some of you guys know that, but I'm just not. I appreciate it. I'm just not a fan. It's not my cup of tea. I can appreciate it. There might be a variant or two that I'd be okay with, but I'm not, you know, totally over the moon with it. I know he is. He's a huge Hinderer fan, and I get that. You know, just like I'm not a big Chris Reeve fan. I really appreciate their quality. I'm not a fan of that, right? It's not my aesthetic. And I don't really know what necessarily my aesthetic is. You know, it's developing still. I mean, sort of can see it, but there are certain things that I do like, you know, so. Do I have the high fin? I do indeed, yes. It's right over here. Let me see if I can get it without knocking the camera. Yes, so I got one of the limited editions, the black one, with the brass accents. I really do like this one. This is a really nice one, and really, really cool little one. I like the action on this. It's just so buttery smooth. I did put the skiff washers in this one, so it works really, really nice. I do like the wee high fin. And now there's some different variants that have come out. I don't know if they're all limited editions. This was one of the limited editions. So it arrives Friday. Very cool. Yeah, so I did put the skiff washers in this, and that worked out really, really nicely for me. I think the action is just crazy nice. And it's, you know, chamfered. It's not super sharp right here, which to me, I expected that to be a lot sharper. I've had a few knives where they have the 3 channels here for the relief cut into the lock bar. I guess you call it the lock bar cutout. Sometimes that's super sharp. So this is pretty good. So yeah, I do have that one. I like that one a lot. That's a nice little knife. Make sure I'm keeping up with all the comments here. High fin. All right, Daniel, welcome. Let's see here. Yeah, we're up to 23. I should probably see if I've said hello to everybody. Let me go through the comments here real quick and make sure that I did say hello to everybody. We got Leela. Oh, and Antonio. Antony, welcome. D.A. So, welcome. We said hello to Lee. Emmy Lee, I don't know if I said hello to you yet. Welcome. David, I know I said hello to you, I believe, and if I didn't, I'll say it again, but I'm pretty sure we talked about your bug out and stuff. See here, who else has joined that I didn't say hello? No, I think I said hello to everybody else. Danny Sims, I think I said hello. Yeah, skiffs. I just ordered a bunch of skiffs, so hopefully they'll be coming in this week. I wanted to put some skiffs in a few different knives. Matter of fact, I got a set of skiffs that I'm going to try on my QSP Penguins, the TPK, the traditional pocket knives variants here. I have all 3 of these. I have the Penguin Plus, the regular Penguin, and the Penguin Mini. And now the action on these are ridiculous already. I mean, you know, you can see that it just drop shuts really nicely, and it's really easy to reverse flick. And it's just a hefty knife, you know, but it's really solid. I love the jig titanium. But I wanted to try it on that one, and what was the other one that I wanted to try it on? Oh, I wanted to try it on, yeah, on the 9. I wanted to put it in here on this one. The action on this is really nice, but I could feel a little bit of grittiness, and I thought maybe the skiffs might make a difference. I wanted to try that. I mean, sometimes it's negligible, right? You know, it's like you can't even tell, but then after you've had it a while, putting a set of skiffs in really, I don't know, it just makes it just a little bit nicer. You know what I mean? So yours arrives Friday. Which one? By the way, Danny, which one did you get for your the high fin? Which variant? Did you get the black one, or did you get one of the other ones? 224, yeah. Dane, sorry about that. Yeah, I know it's late. Well, hang in there. We'll be drawing here in a few minutes. So we've got 24 so far. So what I should do real quick, just to kind of let everybody know how do we enter. So all the new folks, we kind of talked about this in the beginning. If you didn't know, and it's, you got to go to the description, right? So let's see here. Here's the video. This is our live stream right here. So as you go in here, you're going to want to hit the more button. This is going to allow the description to show up over here. And on this description area, you want to hit this link, Rob's Nerdy Knives. Once you click on that, it's going to open this video. This is the entry video, all right? And it'll say that, hey, you've come to the entry video. You want to leave a comment. Like the video, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and you'll notice there's a bunch of comments already over here. And just make sure it's PG, right? One entry per person. You can leave more than one comment, but I'm gonna filter it down to one. Just make sure it's PG so YouTube doesn't filter out your comment when we go to pick, all right? Just make sure it's clean. YouTube has a weird thing about certain words and profanity, so I just wanted to make sure you guys are aware of that. That's how you enter. Once you enter, I'm going to use a comment picker for that. Now the rules, I just dropped my rules on the floor, so hold on 1 second, I got to grab it off the ground real quick. All right, so the rules, if you didn't know, you have to be 18 years old, must contact me within 7 days. Now, this is a live event, so you have to be here and let me know that you're here, and whoever wins, just acknowledge, then email me within 7 days, okay? When you email me, you're gonna acknowledge that, whatever the knife the knife that you win adheres to your state and local laws. You're gonna provide me your shipping address to the continental USA. I must be able to ship a USPS, United States Postal Service, small flat rate box. Any returned shipment forfeits your prize, because I'm going to take whatever you wrote in that email, I'm going to cut and paste it directly into the United States Postal Service app. I'm not going to manually type it, I'm just going to cut and paste it. So I'm going to assume what you gave me is correct, okay? And then you must follow some steps. We're going to just validate your comment when it picks it. And I'm doing this as a habit so that every prize that we ever do, we'll just go through that. It's an easy way to verify who you are, and it'll avoid anybody trying to steal stuff. We're small right now, but we might keep growing, and it seems like we are. So as we grow and have more folks, I want to have that chance to make sure people get their prizes, and no one comes in and does something unethical or unscrupulous, right? I want everybody to get their prize. So that's it. Pretty simple, pretty simple. So if you haven't already entered, click on the description here in this video. Go to that link, leave your comment, like, subscribe if you haven't, and then come back, and then we'll do the drawing here probably in a few minutes. While we're waiting for that, I'm going to go over what the prize is. Make sure I acknowledged everybody. We have a few more folks. It looks like we have a few more folks who entered. So Electric Buzz, welcome. Who else joined us? Dopey6626, Bob, welcome. Who else? ID, welcome. Happy Knife, welcome. Cool, everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. So I just went over the rules. I'm going to start moving this out of the way. We can talk about knives. I will hang out after this and just talk knives. If you want to talk knives, you're welcome to hang around. If you don't want to talk knives, you can take off and do what you want to do. But I'm going to move these out of the way, and I'm going to bring over the prize. So I'm super excited about this. This is a CJRB. Of course, you're going to get one of the limited edition Rob's Nerdy Knives stickers. I actually ordered like some real stickers from Zug Monster that are not car decals. So once those come in, this may be one of the last limited edition versions that people will get. So these are special, right? Once these go, whoever has one of these, you have one of the early stickers, right? I'll still have a few left, but if you're ever interested. But this is the knife right here. As you know, with the way they do things, they just give you a number. They don't really give you the part. But this is a knife provided by Artisan Cutlery. I became affiliate with them, and they actually provided a knife for me to review and talk about, which the video did great. Had a lot of traffic on that video. A lot of people commented. A lot of people liked it. I was really excited about that. And this is the brand new Pyrite, the version that they came out with. So if you know, the original Pyrite, the steel version, was this drop point blade with the button lock and the thumb stud. Really, really nice knife. Love that knife. It was my knife of the year in 2022. This one right here is the Wharncliffe knife, and this one's really cool. As you can see, it has what we call a thumb hole, spidey holes, a fuller hole, whatever people call it, different things. I know officially most people like call it a thumb hole, but you can call it a fuller because technically it's a cutout fuller, right? But it allows you to reverse flick and forward flick. And the way it is, the cutout goes right there, and it is a button lock. Now, this button lock is really nice and solid, well engaged. This is steel scales, beautiful stone washed, and you can see it's nice cut relief outside and inside. Looks really great. This right here is a really deep pocket carry clip. It's got a real pokey tip. Yeah, got to be careful with that. But great for like opening, if you're working in the garden, fertilizer, soil, this would be a great, for that. You're opening cases of water, sodas, you're opening dog food, cat food. This is a great little work knife, and especially for like precision cuts. It works really, really nice. I can tell you, having carried this around and reviewing the knife, this is great. This is one of those knives that if I'm going to give a present, it's either going to be this one, it's going to be maybe the drop point, depending on what people like. If they want the fuller hole or if they want the button lock, the thumb stud, I would do that. But this is a $50 knife. This is a ridiculously great deal. And if you go to White Mountain Knives, matter of fact, they have a few exclusives. They're going to have a frag pattern version of this at White Mountain Knives. Hey, use RNK10. You get 10% off of that when it becomes available. They also have some that have a carbon fiber. Oh, wait, that's the Echo I'm thinking of. But for this one, there is one with the frag pattern. But there is the Echo, which is similar to this. It's just a little different shape, but also a great knife, and I think would be as good as this one. It has a little bigger handle, so if you're looking for something just a little bit bigger for your hands, that might be something worth looking at. It's not much bigger, just a little bit, but that's the knife. All right, so I spoke a lot. Let me make sure I didn't miss a bunch of comments, which I'm sure I would have, because I see a bunch of comments happen. So let's see, what did I miss? All right. Welcome. See here, IDOC, hello. Happy Knife, I said hello. Knife Guy Frog 52, welcome. Knife Guy 81, welcome. Electra Buzz, welcome to the show, to the live stream show, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, let's see, who else we got? Bob Dikima, welcome. Who else do we have? Brian, I already said hello to, so welcome everybody. So somebody just got, a Spyderco? You got the 15V. So how do you like that? Is that as tough and hard as they all talk about it, and does it have that special little logo? What is it, the bear or something? The guy who came up with it on there. Do you like it? Oh, the corgi. You like the corgi? Awesome. I'm glad you do. And that's really cool because you can flip it left and right. Now, Knife Guy, were you the one that was a lefty and you were going to switch it, or were you a righty? I don't remember. So I don't remember if you can let me know. But yeah, I will tell you, when I carried this, I did strop this a lot. So when you get this, please do be careful, because I can tell you that this is ridiculously sharp. Okay, it is razor sharp. I could do a cut test for you, but I have a habit of doing this with a knife, and because it's ARRP M9, this strops up really nicely, just like 14C28N or Nitro V. Man, those three really great budget seals, they strop and sharpen up so nicely, just like 154CM does as well. For me, at least, it does. S35VN does it as well. I will tell you, 20CV M390, it does it, but it's a lot more work, obviously. 90V, S90V is a lot more work. S110V is even more crazy work, right? So we're getting into those things. MagnaCut is a lot of work too. I've been stropping a MagnaCut, but once you get it, it's really nice. But so whoever wins this, it's going to be super sharp, so be careful, okay? All right. Oh, out of this world for the 15V. That's awesome. Mini Praxis, very good, very good. Cool. Yeah, I think in the pass around that I'm part of, the Apex pass around, I think that's one of the knives, if I can remember correctly. Might been, if not, I don't know. I know right now I actually have the new version 2 of the Elementum with the flipper, the button lock Elementum. That's pretty cool as a budget knife. Definitely a contender for this. I will say, if you haven't, I'm just saying aesthetic wise, this is a great bang for the buck. This is going to be a little more expensive, but if this aesthetic appeals more to you, this might be worth considering as well. Let's drop this correctly. But this is also a really nice, you remember the first Elementum came out, it didn't have a flipper. This one has a flipper, which I don't know why they didn't have a flipper, but this one does now. This is maybe, worth considering if you haven't, if that aesthetic doesn't quite speak to you. Here's another great budget knife. Let's see here, there's 3 budget knives. The Penguins, all the Penguins. Now these are the limited edition ones, exclusives. They're a little more expensive, but you can get these, same price as these guys, like in 14C28N or even D2 or something like that. That's another great budget. There's different aesthetics for whatever you like. Cool. That's cool. I like that. So it's 8CR? Okay. So 8CR is like, if I remember correctly, 8CR is probably along the lines of D2. You know, it's a more of an ingot steel. It's not quite like the 10. I think 10CR is the one that's a little step up for sure. I think there's different versions. I'm only now starting to get into that types right now. 9CR, okay, cool. All right, so we're around 7:40. We should probably get into this giveaway. So we have 31 people here. Hey, if you didn't enter yet, just real quick, go into the description. I'll give you a couple of minutes. We'll do this. Go into the description. Click on the link in the description to get to the entry video. If you haven't done that yet, I'll do it one more time just to show you. Does anybody need me to walk you through it? Anybody hasn't entered yet, or anybody needs help in how to enter, let me know. I can go through that. We can do it again, but I don't want to repeat it if everybody is comfortable and knows what it is. Everybody good with that? Okay, so I won't. You just let me know if you need a few minutes. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the comment picker out there. Let me get that set up here. All right, so this is the comment picker that we'll use. Oops. Yeah, so this is the app, and I'm going to go back to YouTube. So this is the giveaway video. I'm going to get this link so y'all can see that. Copy the link. All right, I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to paste this in. All right, so you want to check the link, make sure that looks correct to you guys. Just, you can confirm that. Okay. Then we're going to go down here. We're going to filter duplicates. All right. I'm going to do a little math here. That is 12. And I'm going to get YouTube comments. So real quick, does anybody need a few more minutes? I'll do a quick count. If anybody needs a few more minutes, let me know now. We have 31 unique comments, so it's 1 in 31 chance. It's a good chance of winning tonight. It's definitely a few more than last time, but definitely a good chance of winning still. I mean, you go to, like, if you go to Metal Complex, you're 1 in 1,000 or 2,000, so this is a little better chances here. Now, granted, his knives might be a little bit nicer because it's 1 in 2,000, but hey, this is a good knife, and I would be super pumped to win this one for sure. Because if I hadn't been given this to give away, this would definitely be in my car as a backup knife. It would be in one of my bags, one of my range bags or something like that. Because this is a great knife, even if it's not your main carry, just to have. It's a great beater knife for sure. But it's also just a nice looking knife too. All right, everyone's good to go. Okay, all right, so we got 31 unique comments. All right, so here we go. We're gonna go down here and we're gonna be doing the picking. Good luck, everybody. Hope everybody, wish you all the best, and I hope everybody's excited about this. Here we go. Rocky Graham, you are the winner tonight. Congratulations, Rocky. You have won. Let's see here. Knives. All right, I like that. Knives. So Rocky, you're the winner. I have seen you here. I saw you acknowledged. So just email me, Rocky. I know you're here. We don't have to repick. So just go ahead and send me that email and with your address, and then I will mail that out to you probably near the middle or the end of the week. I've got a big project I'm working on this week, so I don't know if I'll get quite to the post office right away, but I will try to get that out to you near the middle or the end of the week, all right? But congratulations, Rocky. Hey, appreciate everyone being here. The fact that we can give a knife away thanks to Artisan Cutlery, that's because of you guys. You guys subscribing, being part of this. I really want to say thank you to you guys. It just really humbles me that Artisan recognizes that. And it's not that they recognize me, they recognize that you guys are enjoying this and being part of this. And otherwise, I don't think they would give me the light of day, right? So thank you to all of you guys. And thank you, Rocky. Congratulations, Rocky. And I think I might, depending on what I have in inventory, maybe I'll do another giveaway next Monday or the Monday after. We'll see what I have, because I kind of like doing this on Mondays, as long as it works out. And I have, if I'm doing this out of my own pocket, they're going to be budget knives, just to be straight up. But now, if some of the, some of the manufacturers decide to give me something really nice to give away, hey, I'm all for that. But I will definitely be doing more of this. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. Hopefully this is a lot of fun. I'll keep doing it if you guys like it. And if you do, just let me know. And if you don't, then, well, I don't want to waste your time. But I figured I always like winning. Even if it's, something small, it's always cool to win, right? I was on Tri-State EDC and I won a water bottle. It's the first time I ever won anything. It's the only time I've ever won anything, right? So I've yet to win on any of these giveaways. But I won a water bottle, River's Edge Cutlery, a rec water bottle. I was so excited. It's the first time I won something. And yeah, I have it over there on my shelf just because I won it. And to me, it was fun. So there you go. And you also get one of these limited edition stickers, Rocky. So if anybody else, yep, we got a bunch of folks that have left. That's cool. If you guys got other things to do, places to go, by all means. Brian, I know how you feel. When I won that water bottle, now I will tell you, Cole took about 6 months to mail that to me, and he apologized and gave me a few extra stickers with it. But I didn't know if I was ever going to get the water bottle. So I won, but I didn't win for a while. But he ended up getting it to me. He lost my contact information and finally got it out to me. He was really cool about it. But that's the only thing I've ever won. So you know what I think, Brian? When you don't win like that, I think we're saving up our chances to win. That we're saving it up for the big win. You know what I mean? We're gonna get something really huge. So that's what I keep convincing myself. I'm gonna win something really huge. I don't know. Does that make sense? Hello, Beaver Baron. Welcome. We just had the drawing. We tried to do it at 7:30. We're now into the knife discussion part. So we're just going to talk knives. We're just going to chit-chat about knives. You are welcome to join us, but if you were coming for the giveaway, I wanted to let you know that we just drew for the knife, and Rocky Graham won that one, and he was here, so he does get to win the knife, and he'll email me and I'll ship it out to him. But as I said to other folks, I like this, and I'm going to try to do this again, maybe next week or the week after, depending on my inventory of budget knives. But I think I might keep trying to do this if I have enough, budget knives, because this artisan cutlery knife was given to me, the CJRB Pyrite was given to me by Artisan Cutlery. But the other giveaways are things I'm going to be giving away. So who knows? Maybe I'll even do like one of the Benchmade, Velcro or clip bags, where you can hold 12 or 18 knives. Maybe that might be something interesting for someone to win, if anybody likes that kind of thing, So if we can do that, we can do more than maybe just a knife if I start going low on my budget inventory knives. So, all right, thank you, Rocky. I'll check the email when I get a chance. Sorry, I hit the mic. So for those of you who just joined, I don't know if everybody had a chance to share. I know a few of you guys have shared what you're carrying. Is there anybody here who hasn't shared what you're carrying today? Or maybe anything new that you're carrying? Or something new that you are hoping to carry, or you just recently acquired and are carrying? I can tell you I have a few here that are kind of new, if you're curious. Some of these you know about. They're ones I've already had out, but some of these are kind of new. The Pyrite Warncliffe, yep. Yeah, so level 1 up, he won the Pyrite Warncliffe. Let's see here. If you're curious, this Artisan Cutlery sent me, Artisan Cutlery, which is the head company of CJRB, they actually sent me, when I became an affiliate, they sent me a knife to review and then said I could do a drawing for it. And so that's what I'm doing here. It's this one right here. If you haven't seen it, this is definitely a knife I'm going to be buying again for gifts. This is definitely the type of knife that I would purchase for myself as a gift for friends. Especially if you have someone who's maybe they're not into really, knives, the first time knife. This is a perfect knife because it's a button lock and they can open it like a traditional knife to feel safe. The people can slow roll it open. There's a lot of people who enjoy that. They may not want to flick it just yet, but they can slow roll that open really nicely, and then it closes with the button lock. And I think this is a great first knife. And you know, it's easy to carry. Now, this one is pretty sharp, that tip. You got to be careful. And I do strop these quite a bit, so that edge is, I will tell you, it's crazy sharp. Okay, it's not razor sharp, it's crazy sharp. So be careful. I would show you here, so I don't know if you want to see that, but it's crazy sharp. So there you go. It's definitely beyond razor sharp. So I'll just let you know that. If you guys care. So that's why knife guys who sharpen their knives a lot, you'll see an arm that's usually half bald, because you know we're sharpening and we're testing. So maybe you guys don't do that, but I do that. You got the TW price, Don? How did you get that? You know, when he dropped it, I was over there, and I gotta be honest, I may do a video on it, but I was so frustrated, and I had to let go of my frustration. I had to step back, and I had to say, all right, this is one of those knives that I'm gonna treat it like the Mordax, right? It's a cool knife. I really want it. It's on my grail list, but I may never get it, or I may not get it for a while. Just like I'm doing the same with the Microtech MSI. I'm treating that as probably a knife that I will not be able to acquire into my collection for probably a good, I'm going to assume just at least a year or more before I can get that into my actual collection, because it's just so much in demand, you know, and I just don't think I'll get a chance to get that into my collection, right? So, sorry, I'm trying to close the box here. Oh, let me put the little silicate packet in there. All right, there we go. So that is the box right there, and that's what I'm going to be shipping out. I put the sticker inside the box, by the way, Rocky, just so you know. Paul Arms, yeah. You have the version 1. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. You can't send it to Europe. Yeah, is that because they don't allow, like, are you like in England? Because in England, I think they only allow slip joints. I don't think you're allowed to have any knife that truly lock up or something like that. And I think there's a length on the blades as well. So, yeah. But anyways, so I really wanted to get the Radon. I think that was the one that was dropped just recently. I had it in I put it into my box. I was literally there refreshing. Within a second, I refreshed. I had it in my box in 3 seconds. I was going to check out within 20 seconds. And guess what? It was sold out. I got sniped. And then there was others that were available, and it made me so mad, because if I had gone and picked a different variant, I would have had a chance, right? Because then you go to the next variant, and then you go to check out, boom, it's sold out too. That's just so frustrating. It bums me out, you know, when you miss that. So, I don't know. I've just decided that, you know, I'm going to let that go. I did that with the EMP for EDC for a while for the Nimbles. I kind of gave up on those because those were next to impossible to get. Finally, he now has inventory where he has enough that if you go there after he drops them, at least for a few hours, you can get one. It's not impossible to get one. And so, like, I was able to get this. Now, I didn't realize I could have gotten the MagnaCut version. I didn't know it was at the bottom. And had I known that, I would have bought the MagnaCut version, but that's all right. I still like the 20CV. This is still a great version right here of the Relative. I do like this one a lot. So this is actually my favorite EMP EDC knife that they make. But I will say, the Nimble X is growing on me. I did drop my video recently for the unboxing, and it wasn't... did I drop it today, or is that one going tomorrow? I forget when that one's going. I think it was today. It wasn't the greatest. I think it was today. It wasn't the greatest video. You know, I wasn't a super fan when I got it. But I decided, okay, am I going to keep it, do some content? So I started carrying it because I figured, yeah, I'll do some content on this. And yeah, it's starting to grow on me. I'm liking this a lot more. So, and it's nicer than I had anticipated. And it started to break in really nicely. Now, I will tell you, I think a couple other of you guys have done the same thing. I did have to clean it. QSP does great work, but it came in dirty. It was gritty on the inside. I cleaned it all out. I am going to get skiff washers and put that on there and see if that also helps. But the action now is night and day. It's not like all gritty and chalky coming down. It's actually gotten really, really smooth. A lot like these ones here that are now just ridiculously smooth. So yeah, I don't know. This one I might end up being part of the collection a little bit more. And you can see I already got dirty. Man, I do use these knives a lot, don't I? So if you guys don't like dirty knives, I apologize. I use my knives, and I guess at some point if we have enough people who show up, I'll have to go through and clean them really well or something, right? Speaking of the relative, you opened yours last night? Okay. All black 20 CV. Yep. You passed on the Magna Cut? Okay. All right. So yeah, I tried to get the black one. That one sold out really fast. So then I got the all, I guess naked one, net titanium, and I'm not disappointed with this, by the way. But I think all black or all naked titanium, I think both would have been, are both really stunning. I think that's really nice. But the black one is, I do like this little mix right here that they have in this beautiful hollow grind. So on the Nimble X at least, I know the black on the Relative, it's a Bestech variant, and I think theirs is not. I think theirs is it DLC or PVD? I think it's PVD on theirs. I don't think it's Cerakoted. This looks Cerakoted to me. I'm not sure if it's Cerakoted, but it doesn't look like DLC or PVD. Maybe it's PVD, but it doesn't look like it's Cerakoted. So anyways, I don't know. Oh, Dane, hey, take care. Have a great night. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you being here. Time to, well, get some sleep, but thanks for being here. Oh, you're in Macedonia. That's cool. Yeah, that is really cool. Man, thanks for joining. That's really cool that you were here. So cool. We have international subscribers here. I like that. That's really cool. I was actually born in Denmark, and English is my second language. I don't know if you know that. Yeah, I learned English when I was 7. So I appreciate the international folks because IR1, I guess you could say, as we say in Texas. I picked up Texas when I came to America, so I do embrace the Texas part here for sure. You got the Circuitai clip is okay. Okay, wish you had a cleaner pattern, but it's not bad. All right. Yeah, that's the thing about Zircotai. You sometimes it's going to be amazing, and then sometimes it's going to be, right? And you hope to get amazing. Usually you have to pay a little extra to get the amazing, so. Oh, you had the Relative? It was still sitting there since January? You hadn't even looked at. Oh, so you did the pre-order. Okay, you got the pre-order one. You got the one that was a 20 CV as well, part of the pre-order. All right, because you could pre-order the LMAX version. I think, was it you, Rocky? You were asking about the, if you're still here, Rocky, you were asking about the Nimble X. I believe the Nimble X, I'm not sorry, the Relative, they had pre-orders for the LMAX version. Now, when those come in, for all those pre-orders, he'll have those, but he'll usually have some extras that he'll then drop, and they'll become available on a Saturday. They'll have a drop on a Saturday, and then you can go ahead and you can buy those usually on that. That's how I got that one. So I haven't seen when the next LMAX order is coming in. I thought that was April or May. So I think it's close to when that's supposed to be coming in. And I would check for that. I assume you're on their mailing list and you get notified, because that'll definitely let you know. And then you always go to their website and you can look inside each of those, and there's usually a little note where he stands. And of course on Instagram, you can always follow them on Instagram, and he'll give updates there as well. But Instagram is a good place too. He drops his little videos and he'll talk about the updates where he's at with each one of them. That's kind of cool there too. But it's on the website too. Definitely the way to get it. I like the website because he'll say this Saturday drop at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock or whatever. And then you can be there and get ready to go. All right, Mind of Milton. So has anyone seen the Dark Bolt one yet here? This is the Wii is the OEM for this. I saw this quite a few different places. I believe what was it, Knives Knives, and then even just today or yesterday, I believe, Metal Complex reviewed this, and I was really interested in this. And so I went ahead. Now, I guess it wasn't yesterday, it was this week or something. But this is a WE manufactured knife. These are G10 scales. It's steel liners, but it is a liner lock. Now, this liner, this button is tied to the liner. And this button, I believe, is also the over travel stop. I mean, the blade stop and the close stop, I guess, whatever, stop bar pin or whatever. And it's both a flipper and let's see if we can do this, a front flipper. Now, I just got this. I haven't even broken this in. I haven't put any oil on there. I haven't done anything. But it is a liner lock so that you can drop it like a liner and close it like regular. But then you can also press the button. So it's kind of like the compression lock with the smock. It has a button compression lock. I would call this a button liner lock. That's what I would determine this as, button liner lock. Now, thumb studs aren't my favorite. They're a little weird. I might consider getting some new ones that are more volcano, but I think they're trying to give the aesthetic of that, the bolt, you know, the dark kind of look to it. But this is 20 CV blade steel, and it is, you know, it's CVV, but usually they can get that to about 60, 61. So that to me it's okay. It's not the best, but it's better than if you get it Cerakoted, right? I mean, I realize on this one, I'm probably at 58 to 59. I get that. If I'm lucky, I get 58 or 59. I think I'm 59 because I can tell you when I sharpen this one and strop this one, it works really well. It's not super soft, and it takes me a little bit longer to strop it. When it's kind of soft steel, you know, it's easier to strop really fast. But this is called the Dark Bolt. The Dark Bolt. I don't know if one of you guys could look it up. They actually have a website. Let me see if I can find it. It's Dark Bolt Knives or something like that. I'm going to look it up here. Oops. Okay. Yeah, here they are. Dark Bolt, if you want to look them up. They have this, this is the Arcus. Okay, Arcus. And this is the Stratus. This is more of a, I guess it's a, I don't know if that's a clip point or drop, it's maybe a drop point. I don't know. Maybe a harpoon, modified harpoon, drop point, clip point, whatever you want to call it. This is a Warncliffe or reverse Tonto. I mean, when you look at this, it kind of looks like a reverse Tonto, but it does have the curve and this goes out, so it could be a sheep's foot. So I don't know. You can call it whatever you want, but it is a WE design. Now, their goal, as I understand, is they're going to make other scales that you can swap these out with. Right now, these are G10. And so they'll eventually have titanium, different versions, maybe even fat carbon. Now, I will say it's not really a flipper because it's kind of smooth. It's a push button. It works really well as a push button to open. And I haven't put any oil in this. It's so new, right? And I haven't broken it in. I haven't even see if I need to tune the detent. The detent seems a little tight. I don't know how much I'd want to tune this because I don't know how all this works together. This is such a different, unique design. But I do think I want to tune it because I'll tell you, the front flipper is not as easy to flip. It's a little tight for a front flipper, and front flippers usually want a little softer, right? And so it does mean that you're going to lose some on the push button part, but that's just me. I think the front flipper should be a little bit softer. But that's, you guys know that I like lighter detents. Some of you guys are going to like really strong detents, and so this will be perfect for you. And if you like a really crazy sharp detent, well, you might want to tighten this up. But I'm debating whether that. But I haven't put any oil in it or anything yet, so I don't even know. Matter of fact, I guess I could just do that right now since I have some right here. We'll just do this live. We'll put a little oil in and see what happens. Come on. Here we go. All right. And then I'm going to put a little bit on the detent ball. So what I did is, if y'all are not familiar, this is Nano Oil 10 weight. I need to get a new bottle because, as you can tell, I totally wore off the label. This is the Nano 85 weight. This is the heavy stuff. This is the one usually you put on the detent ball. And so where's that detent ball? I'm assuming it's in here somewhere. I might need to get a flashlight to see that. Okay, there it is. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that, the detent ball? Let's see if we can get that zoomed in. Come on, zoom. There we go. There we go. Come on, zoom. I think, all right. I'm having trouble because my hand is here. So let's see if we can focus that. Can you all see that? There we go. There's the detent ball. All right. Dark bolt. Yep, definitely dark bolt. So that's what it's called. So I'm going to put a little drop on here. Let's see. Maybe I don't have to tune anything, because once I do this, that a lot of times that breaks it right in. There we go. Just one little drop. Work that in. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, it's already starting to drop a lot more. Okay. Yeah, probably just need a little oil. Now it's much smoother. Let's see. Yeah, it's definitely better. Now this is a totally brand new kind of mechanism and how all this works. So this is all new for me. I haven't really figured this out yet. Literally just recorded the unboxing video before we started this evening. So just to let you know, this is like, you get to see this before I even dropped a video. It'll probably come out end of the week or next week. So, but it's pretty cool. I mean, I like the idea. I like the design, and I really like this hollow grind because it comes to a really crazy thin edge, and it's got a nice edge. And that's a pretty even edge all the way across. You can see that on both sides. They did, I think, a fairly good job. I mean, it looks very even, which sometimes can be a challenge, you know, as you all know. This is one of my only complaints is on this one right here, my Nimble X. The edge right here, this one is a little bit longer here, and then, yeah, this one's a little bit shorter. Okay, and where you normally see that is you'll see it when you do the centering. The centering will be here, will be okay, but the very tip will seem like it's off because one tip kind of curves one way or the other, right? So, but if I keep this, I'm gonna reprofile the edge, and so I don't care. I will change it. I'll probably change the angle of the edge too, because I think the angle of this edge right here, this looks like it's probably around 20 degrees, maybe 25 degrees. I might switch it to 20, maybe 18. I like a little longer edge because I find it to be a little sharper. And depending on how well this drops up, I think if it's a pretty good heat treat on this steel, I think a longer edge is going to work fine. If it's really soft, then I guess I'll go for a thinner edge or keep the edge. Yeah, it's called the Arcus. This is the Arcus. Oh yeah, that really, wow. Okay, so like I said, I just opened the box. I hadn't put any oil in there. Yeah, look at that. Okay, that's really nice now. Oh, I do like that. Yeah, I'm already really enjoying this. Just a drop of oil, boy. Yeah, that's night and day. Actually, now is exactly what I want. Yeah, I'm not going to be tuning. Oops. Now, I keep wanting to light switch, but it really has no traction. That's a regret. But the push button works really well. I tend to like the light switch. If you do the push button, it tends to work pretty well. So there you go. Anyways, that's the Arcus, and it's dark bolt. And yeah, yeah, and you're also supposed to be able to, if you have an Arcus and you have the other one, what is the other one called? I think one of you guys probably already posted it there, but the other one, let's see here. The other one's called the Stratus and the Arcus. If you have each of those, you're supposed to swap the blades out between the two. You can buy both, and they'll make sure that the blades are swappable. So you could put this sheep's foot blade inside. You could put it inside this handle. So if you like that handle with the more pronounced cutout, or if you like this with the more curve like this, some people don't like having that little, you know, cutout there, and they would prefer this. This to me appealed more to me. I like the colors of the gray, and I did like the sheep's foot. To me, that looked nicer than this, for me at least. That's my aesthetic. So, all right. Well, I don't want, if everyone's kind of, I know it's been a rough Monday. Everybody I've talked to today, everyone seems to be super tired. So if, you know, I'm happy to talk knives, but if you guys are knifed out or just tired from your Mondays, I mean, I don't want to keep anybody around, but I am more than happy. It's no whippersnapper. Yes, Rocky. It is not a whippersnapper. You're absolutely right. Nothing is a whippersnapper here. The only thing that I might even, and it's not even going to contend, but I mean, it's a great knife. The Arno Bernard, my Arno Bernard on Mamba, that's a pretty nice knife. I really do like that one. That is definitely in the realm, because that one is kind of mid-tech as well. You know, it's made by the brothers, and that's RWL34 with a polished hollow grind on that one. And I love that fuller that they have here. And man, it is so glossy smooth. That action is just ridiculous. But yeah, anyways, that's about as close as I get to your whippersnapper, I think. I mean, I guess the only other one I could think of is maybe, and this is not going to be a whippersnapper. This is you know, Riot. This is my Leon Ma, you know, get stuff done GSD. That one is pretty smooth too, but it's still no whippersnapper. You're right. You could do without the lines. See, and I think they're going to make more scales that are going to have different variations. I kind of like the lines. I mean, to me, the lines, I mean, yeah, there's another aesthetic there. You know, we're starting to get into, without the lines, I know it's not exactly the same, but it sort of reminds me of a Ray Laconico sort of look, you know, very clean and smooth, but that kind of breaks it up a little bit. But the clip here is not quite Ray Laconico with that curve, but this right here kind of has a little Ray Laconico look, you know what I mean? He's always such clean lines and everything. I think so, at least for me it is. Oh, you have a GSD 2 for sale? Yeah. Which one did you get? Did you have the Space Coral on yours, or did you have one of the like Arctic Storm, or did you get one of the steel or the micarta ones? Which one did you get? All right. Hey, Rocky, have a good one. Oh, he said goodbye. I didn't even see it. Sorry, I was talking too much. The micarta green? Okay. Yeah, I'm not a micarta fan, but if someone here is, hey, check out 80. Am I saying it right? 80, or is it 80? 80 OC? I'm going to say original. Oh, before the GSD, this is the Arno Bernard I Mamba. You can get this at South African Sporting Goods. It's made in Africa. The exchange rate is really phenomenal right now, so that this is really nice. This is the base model. Very, very simple. It's just titanium. They have all sorts of like mammoth tooth inserts. They have a rattlesnake kind of a made out of some really fantastic inserts and whatever. Those are way, way more expensive. They get up to the price of the whippersnappers, even the high-end whippersnappers. You can get some of these that are over $1,000, but this one was just like 400 or 485 or something like that. Yeah. But this is the iMamba, right? And it's RW. Now, the brothers touched this 200 times. This is hand ground, it's hand polished. They do a little milling for the scales, but then they do all their touch-up themselves, right? So they touch the knives 200 times. So it's mid-tech. Those who are very specific that it's not a custom unless they don't use any machining, which if you go that route, I mean, then you have to exclude like, you know, Koenig, you have to exclude even Herman, because Herman uses some machining. I don't know if you all know that. I was looking at their website and I saw their Herman site and I saw them on Instagram, and he actually uses a machining for some of the stuff that he cuts. So does that mean Herman now is not a custom knife, right? I would say no, I think they are. So, but this is, because the exchange rate is so nice right now, this is a great deal. If it's, you know, for the price that you can get for this, it's just beautiful. And I don't, you have some knives that are smooth, right? And then some knives that are buttery. And sometimes you can tell when they're gritty. I don't know if it's the cutout where the washers touch or the blade where they're touch, or if it's the washers themselves, the ceramic ball bearings aren't perfectly, you know, right. Those are not quite as smooth, but this is just insanely smooth. And of course, it's a torque 15. It's a large torque screw. Matter of fact, I actually bought one just for this when I had to tighten it. It's yeah, it's this one right here. Oh, it's a T20. Sorry, it's a T20 screw. So it's a torque 20 for the pivot. Man, it's just a really nice touch on that. Really, just aesthetically very pleasing. It isn't captive, but what they did is they used Loctite 272 or 270, whatever, to seal one of them on there. So it's almost like a super glue. I mean, you could break it free if you take the pivot off and you heated it, it would loosen, but that would be the only way to do that. But this is a really nice knife, definitely worth checking out. They get inventory in, and you can go there. Sometimes you can even reserve one or pre-order it, but surprisingly, they have a nice inventory. Everybody, the only person that I know that didn't like this one was Lefty EDC. Lefty didn't like it. Kevin was not a fan because he doesn't like weak detents. You know, he likes really strong detents. And I mean, I could tune this where the detent is much, much stronger. There's no question. But you know, I don't know if he's into tuning that, but he could definitely attune this to be much stronger. But I like the detent. I didn't have to do any adjustment. To me, it was perfect. You know, as long as you understand it's not a super strong detent, so you have to make sure you do a nice push button or you get a nice light switch on there. But this is really nice. Yeah, you won't worry about stripping these guys out. There's no way. At T20s, that's massive. So yeah. Oh, I don't know if anybody saw that McNeese. They dropped their Lynch custom clip on their website. I was able to put that on there. So does anybody have a McNeese up by any chance? This is their new clip that Lynch came out with, and you can see the screws get recessed in there, and that clip has a nice spring to it. It's just a really nice screw. It goes in and out the pocket really, really nicely. So if you have a McNeese, this works on the Mac 3 and the Mac 3.5, and both the auto and the manual. So that's a nice clip if you haven't done that. Hey Rocky, have a great night. Thanks for joining, man. Appreciate it, and congrats again on winning. I'll be shipping that out to you very soon. Good night, Dopey. All right, you guys have a good night. We'll talk to you guys later. The other one that I did too is I went ahead and got the Lynch clip for the f5.5. I don't know if you guys have seen that one. This is the new Lynch clip that they came out with as well. I've replaced the black one on here. I couldn't get the black one that sold out so fast, but I figured, you know, it's kind of a nice accent because you've got the blade that's exposed here, but then you have this. And so I kind of feel like it might be a nice touch because on that Wii knife that I won, they did the same thing here. I know the blade's fully exposed on this one, so it makes more sense, but I don't know. I didn't hate it. It was the closest thing, and I thought maybe someday if I decided that I was going to get the titanium version or something, I can always move that clip over there. But I really do like that clip. It's really nice. It doesn't stick up like the other one does, which goes straight up and it kind of digs in. And it's a little longer, and it does have a little nicer hold there. So anyways. Night, Dopey. Have a great night. All right, we're down to 7. So, hey, if any of you guys want to keep talking knives, I'll talk. But if you guys are done, I mean, I'm happy to go. You know, it's past 8. We've done over a full hour. So, oh, you weren't leaving yet. Okay. Oh, he's saying night to Dopey. Okay. All right. Sorry. All right, Rocky. Then we'll hang around. All right. You know, absolutely. I see that we still got 7 here. So, assuming everyone else here is still, everyone here else is enjoying talking about knives at least, or wants to talk about knives. So, has anyone seen the result? I know the guy who does love them knives. He's a unique fellow, I have to admit. But I heard so much about this knife, and then I saw review after review, and people really spoke well about it. It kind of looks unique, and but it's a relatively thin blade. Oh, the Devo Mash, did that come out? I haven't gotten one of those yet. No, I really wanted to try to get one of those, but every time I looked, they were like sold out. And so I missed one of the drops. That's a 14C28N one, right? Level 1 up? That's the 14C28N version you're talking about? I'm going to say no to talking about knives. Yeah, you and me both. My wife would be like, yeah, go talk knives. Talk all you want. Then she doesn't have to talk to me or hear me talk about it to her. Because I'll explain something to her and she's like, oh, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, the 14C20. Now, that one, does it also come in titanium scales? Is that the one that I thought I saw Kevin carry in titanium scales? Or am I thinking one of his other ones? Because there's the Mash, there's a few that he has. But the one that he has, that's the smaller version, right? It's kind of, I'd say maybe about the size of a f5.5. The one you're talking about, it's about this size. Is that the one? I'm assuming. I hope. Okay. Yeah. So the titanium one's the one that looked really, really cool. I would like to have tried to get that one. I just didn't. I guess I didn't get a chance to get it. Is he going to have another drop? Was that the one that was a White Mountain Knives exclusive, or is that a different one? Because I know he had a White Mountain Knives exclusive one, I think. Okay, email me. That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I've wanted to check it out. I just every time I went there, it was the first. I think that's the second drop of that one, right? There was a first drop, and then there was a second drop. Yeah, White Mountain Knives. Yeah, and I think this is the second drop, right? Because I missed the first one, and I was waiting for the second one, and I haven't. Did they already drop it, and I missed it? Because I'm not always looking at every knife that drops, right? There's sometimes when you've got your eye on one thing, you're not maybe paying attention to the other ones. And then that's always a nice surprise when you run across a knife like that, that that you weren't looking for, and you see that it's there and it's available, and then you're like, what? You know, I don't know about you guys. That's kind of like finding a treasure. I don't know. I get kind of excited about that. The growler, okay. And the smash, all right. That I remember him talking about the growler and the smash. That's cool. Or the mash. It's not smash. The mash. Excuse me. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try to. That would be a cool one. Is now, if I remember correctly, that one he was selling. It was selling for, was it like $69 or $59? Was that also one of those really good prices? Maybe it was 79 because it's 14C28N. It's not. It's not like D2 or anything. Oh, the Knife Center Pyrite. Is that the one with the micarta and the titanium scale? The one you're talking about? Guitar bills. Awesome. So you build guitars too, Rocky? I have one guitar, a Martin. It's a D13, but you know, that's me. I I'm not a musician. I don't perform, but I play for myself and I enjoy it and I want it to sound good. So that's about it for me. Okay, so my email here. I've got the thing right here. Let me fell on the floor again, so I'm gonna take off my mic. So there is my, I have to put the mic back on, so I'm probably hearing me knock it around. robsnerdyknives@gmail.com. That's the email address if you want to email it. It's also, if you go to my channel page, there's a link for email. If you click on that, that's the email address it's going to email. It won't tell you that that's the email address, but when you send an email through YouTube, it'll go to there. So if you lose that or you're not sure what it is, you can always do that. Oh, let's see here. Thoughts on this. Let's take a look at that. Oh, man. The Snick. Yeah. Okay. I have seen that one. I think White Mountain Knives actually has that one too. That's the Timascus with the Dama steel. Yeah. I will tell you. Let me see if I can find it. Let me look this up real quick. There is one that I'm very, very interested along that vein, Rocky. I'm going to show you one here. I just need to get to it real quick. So I'm logging in, all right? Yeah, I need to set it up where I can show my screen when I'm actually looking at stuff. That would probably be helpful in times like this. So, we knife. I think We Knives, they must have improved their their Kate ceramic ball bearings, because I can tell you I have the Sakshi already. This is the one that I won directly from them recently, which I'm planning to dye the plain G10 scale. But the action on this, I was planning to put skiffs on this one. The action on this was as good as the skiffs. There's no grittiness. On all the newer Wii knives I have, I've actually been a hard time finding any of them that are gritty. And that to me, I thought was really, really interesting. I don't know if you guys, okay, here it is. All right, so let me see if I can get this link. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put it into the chat. This is the one, this is the, if you're familiar with the Magnetron, have you heard of that one, Rocky? Check this one out. That's the Magnetron. That one is along the lines of what you're talking about, I think. This one has a nebula. I'm not necessarily a nebula fan, but the one that I really liked, did they still have it? They had one with a Timascus scales. Oh, maybe they don't have it anymore. That's a bummer. But it is the Magnetron. There's one that the Magnetron that also has the Timascus scales and the Damasteel. That's pretty amazing. Now, why is this? Okay, that's interesting. When I do a search for on White Mountain knives on my phone, I get a whole lot more results than I do on my computer. That's interesting. I wonder why that is. Okay, cool. That would be cool. I would love to hear about that. So thank you about the mash. Yeah, definitely. Let me see what Rocky said. Oh yeah, the Ziphius. That one is. Yeah, Rocky. That one is pretty cool too. Now, you know, I was looking at the Ziphius and I saw how big it was, and I wasn't sure the action. I mean, it was a Texas Blade Show knife winner, right? It was the best folding knife at Texas Blade Show, so obviously it's a phenomenal knife. But I wasn't sure if it's in my wheelhouse of aesthetic. Now, there is the Aracus, the Articus? What is the one that's like this, but it has more of a tanto shaped blade? Do you know which one I'm talking about? That one I really like. Let's see if oh, here it is. Yeah, it's the Exciton, the Exciton. Let's see if I can post that link for you. This one is also pretty cool too. You probably already have that one, or you know of this one. This is the variant of, I think, the Ziphius that appeals a little bit more to me. It's like everything the Ziphius is, but it's more of a, this one is not the tanto shape, but they do make this one in a tanto shape blade. At least I saw a variant at one of the the Texas Blade Show. They were talking about, or at least somewhere they were talking about this being having a tanto shape also. Yeah, it is pretty. But again, that's one of those knives that's really pretty, and it would be a large investment. I would have to consider, you know, not buying anything else for a while if I were to acquire one of those, which, you know, you would have to you'd have to ask yourself, is that okay? And it might be, you know, but it just means I would have to come up with various content that that would rely on current inventory or borrowed inventory, right? But I like the Exciton. That's the variant of the Ziphius that has more appealing to me than the Ziphius. But the Ziphius, because of the quality and the build and everything I've heard about it, is still appealing to me. It would be one I would love to handle. I don't know if I would add it to my collection. I'd be more inclined to add the Exciton. I believe that's how you pronounce it, Exciton. Hey Jason, welcome. We had the giveaway at 7:30, but we're just talking knives, man. You're welcome to join. We're just chit-chatting. So, but I did mention to the folks that I'm probably going to do another giveaway either next Monday or the Monday after. I have a few more budget knives that I would like to give away out of my own collection. So I like this and want to keep doing it as long as everybody else wants to keep doing it. So there you go. Oh, what are you sharing now? The knife. Be nice. What is this one? Oh, so you have a, what is this one here? Oh, it's a B&H? Nope. Sorry, I'm looking at the video that you just shared with me. Trying to see what that is. Skip the ad. Let's see here. Oh, is this a guy building? Is this you? It's not you, Rocky, is it? This is almost like the guy who makes the guitars out of Austin. Um, oh, what is this? What's the name of that? I've got to think of the name of that. Well, the way he's putting the wooden blocks together, is he making an electric guitar maybe? Is that what he's doing? Oh, you got the Pulsar? Oh yeah, that one is sweet. Now, did you get the titanium one or the one with the textured one? Yeah, Jason, what's in your pocket? I was curious. On the X-Tau, are you talking about the the Tau S or the X Tau? Are you talking about it, Jason? Are you looking at the titanium clip or the wire clip? I am not a fan of the wire clip. I will be straight up. I don't like the wire clip. No. Let's see here. So just so you know, what I did for mine, it took a little work, but on the X-Tau, I put a Spyderco clip. It doesn't normally fit in there. I had to sand the pins on there because they're a little thicker than the width that's in there. Now, the cool thing is I did order it. They just came out with a titanium clip. They start making the fit in here, so I have one on order coming in. I expect that's going to take, I don't know, 4 to 8 weeks because it's coming from China. Might have to go through customs. But it's come over in a week before, and it's come over in 8 weeks before. But I like the titanium clip, and that worked out really nice on here. And so to me, that's a really nice look. I don't know if you've seen that. Hello, Chris. How are you doing? Welcome. So Jason, I don't know if you saw what I did. I actually have a video on this, I believe, where I talked about how I installed this. And I let Lynch, the guy, Casey, know. And you know, I said I got it in there, and he normally, if it's easy enough to put in there, he'll say that it could fit with slight modification, but this was a pretty significant. So this would not be a slight modification to get this one in. But it is relatively easy. If you have like a work sharp belt sander, or if you have a nail file and you're willing to work with it, you can sand these pins. You just, they're a little too wide. The channel is like, so, you know, let's say this is the channel, the pins are a little bit too wide. You just need to kind of file them down so they fit in the channel. Once they fit in the channel, this works actually really nicely. You can see it flushed in and everything, works really nice. It actually fits well. So that worked for me. And that's the Spyderco wire clip replacement. But they also are making, they now are releasing, and they have released on their site, their titanium clips that fit their hole. So I ordered one of those. So we'll see if that's a big difference, if I like that better than this. So that's just something to think about too. So I don't know what the Cormorant, what clip that one has. Is it a wire clip or something? Yes, I did start with cheaper knives. Yeah. So my very first knife was a Gerber Easy Out. I bought that 35 years ago when I got out of high school, and I still have it. I guess it's a Safe Queen, sort of, just because it's the first knife. But I actually had it in the car, just used it as a car kind of knife to whatever I needed it for. And then I got a CRKT knife. That was like my first 40, 50, it was a $40 knife back then. That'd be like a $50, $60 knife now. Then after that, I got a Benchmade. I got a Benchmade Mini Barrage. I bought that at Cabela's. It was the orange one. I had D2 steel. The first time I got into a fancy steel called D2. Now that was CPM D2, so it wasn't the ingot steel. So then I After that, I did a bunch of Benchmades, various variants of the Benchmades. I did their Autos, the Adamas, a whole bunch of Bug Out, the Osborne, all those ones, right? And then I started discovering other knives. So yeah, that's kind of how it started. My gateway drug for knives would have been the Benchmade. That's how I started it. At least that's how I got into the different knives. But it took a while, you know, and I'm slower in acquiring knives. You know, I have a few unboxings. Some of these things are things that I will keep and some I will sell pretty quickly, right? But when I make a decision to buy any of these knives, I probably researched every one of these knives for months, if unless, well, I would even say for months, because usually I'll start watching the videos when they have the pre-release, the prototypes. I'll watch all the reviews and anybody who talks about the prototype, and I really look for certain things on the knife, aesthetic and functionality and how it works that appeals to me, and then I will probably make the decision. Like I bought the EMP EDC, the smaller nimbles, and I had two of them. I had the nimble and the nimble Tonto, and on those they had a much longer finger distance between the finger and the choil. And I liked it a lot. It was very fidgety, but the problem I had on those was that when I would drop this, you would hit this, and once I cleared that, it would drop so fast and it would come down here and it cut my nail or cut my finger. And it just got to the point where I liked them and I would cut myself too often that I finally ended up selling them. I just, if I do that, I can't, if I'm not gonna, I stopped carrying them. And so I realized to stop carrying because I kept cutting myself. And so then I was like, yeah, okay, I'm done. This one is actually much better. I do like this. It does catch here, and then it still drops. It's a little tricky though, because you can miss it and go down fast. So I catch myself not doing what I do on the Relative. On the Relative, I can drop this and just let it fall, not even worry about it, because I know it's always going to catch and I'll be fine. There's certain knives that I know I can always do that with. Like even on this one right here, I know when it drops, it's going to catch. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. It's going to catch right there. It's never going to hit my finger. So I know that on certain knives, all right? But I moved around. I moved into those knives and they became part of the collection, but it took time. And I don't buy a million knives up front. And I also bought a few knives that I was told you should buy for your collection. And I had them, and then I realized they weren't for me. And when I finally realized it's okay not to have in my collection, and I don't know, maybe I'm a bad YouTuber, reviewer or whatever, because I don't have a bunch of, Rick Hinders. I don't have Chris Reeves. I've owned them, and I appreciate them, and I think they're great quality. They're just not my cup of tea, and that's okay. I will highly recommend them to a bunch of people. If you love their aesthetic, it's a great, great knife. You just have to ask yourself, is it an aesthetic that you like? And if it is, go for it. But if it's not, I don't think you should buy a knife that you're not going to enjoy carrying and want to carry. If you're not going to enjoy carrying, want to carry, or maybe it's a knife in your collection, maybe you're a collector and you don't carry them, I'm okay with that too. Every knife I have, I carry, right? You all know that. But if you're a collector and you carry them and you want them in your collection, but you should enjoy it, right? You should find something you find pleasure in it, right? And if you don't, then I think the question is, why do you have it? And are you ever going to carry it? Is it just, do you feel like you have it because you should have it, or do you have it because you want it? If you don't have it because you want it, then I feel like, maybe you could put that money somewhere else. You could get another knife, just a thought, just my kind of perspective on it. Yeah, so you jump to the $300 range. And you got to be careful, because you can go there and get really disappointed, right? You could say, this looks like it is the knife, right? It is the knife that I want to get. And then next thing you know, yeah, it's not. And you're going to be totally disappointed. But there are some great budget knives out there that are absolutely, totally, 100% worth it. Matter of fact, I have a few, but they're not here. I have a Baby Banter. I have a Wee Banter. I mean, granted, it's over $100, but I bought it on sale for $93 at Christmas. And then I have the Big Banter, which is a great big knife, and it's 140 bucks. But, if you use my RNK10 discount at White Mountain Knives, you can get it for even less. So, by the way, if you didn't know that, White Mountain Knives, I have a discount code of 10% off. It saves you 10% on most knives. There's a few maybe that doesn't, but you can use that and get some of those knives for even cheaper. That includes a lot of the budget knives. Like the Pyrite is one that I'm definitely going to be buying as a gift for friends. I'm reviewing as part of the giveaway in our group. I'm reviewing like the Civivi version 2, the Civivi Elementum with the button lock. That is a great contender if the aesthetic of this knife really appeals to you. I do like this knife a lot. It really does work. I mean, you know, they kind of broke the whole barrier. They started this, sort of started the budget versions of this, right? I believe. It wasn't until they did theirs. I mean, granted, they didn't have the flipper at first, and so that kind of, you know, sort of a fail, but, you know, it is what it is, right? Yeah, it's what you like, and that's what it should be. I agree. Yeah, I'm addicted to the research. Uh, Level one up, I can totally agree. I do like that. That's why this one, I had been looking at this knife probably for 4 months when it first came out. This has been out for a little bit, and I saw several reviews on it. And again, I'm trying to light switch it. Like I need to do the right push button, right? But this one really appealed to me. And then when I saw more and more reviews and people talk about it, I thought I'm going to give it a chance. Now, will this remain in my collection? I don't know. I don't know. It's to be said because it's very different, and I'm trying to see if I'm going to get used to it and if I can tune this. It's much better with the oil. I don't know if you guys knew. I just unboxed this before we did the live stream. Hadn't oiled it, and I oiled it while we were here, and it already made a huge difference on this knife. The action's already way better. But when I first got it, it was not as smooth. But now it's already starting to smooth up quite a bit. Now I oiled it, and there's oil right there, and I realized that's why I'm probably slipping because I can feel the oil in my hand. So yeah, it's probably not because I'm slipping off. It's because it's got oil there. So if I wipe that off, where's the towel? Probably be a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. So, but yeah, so I enjoy that kind of research. Just like this one, there's a pass around where I would have probably gotten to see this in about a month or two or a couple of months. But everything I read on there, and I started seeing more and more reviews about this, and I thought, all right, I'm going to take a chance. And hey, at White Mountain Knives, it's a White Mountain Knives exclusive, 10% off. You can get this for even cheaper, just so you know. But including the budget knives. But and the reason why I tell you about the White Mountain Knives is because honestly, you get 10% off. All right, you get 10% off. It helps me because at some point, the guy, I believe Justin, who owns White Mountain Knives, if there's enough sales that go through, then I'll get something for the channel, right? I could get something for the channel where I can review something or something I can, you know, if I can get some budget knives or maybe it could be giveaways, whatever. It just helps the channel. It helps us out eventually. So it gives you guys a discount, but it also helps us, you know, hopefully the channel out down the road when we, you know, if there's enough people who use that code, then the channel gets helped out. We might get some free samples, some free previews, things like that. That's why I'm wanting to share that with you because it benefits you, but it will eventually benefit the channel. Hey, thank you, man. Justin, I really appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you. I try. You know, I'm. If you saw my early stuff, I don't know if you guys have gone back and looked at my first stuff. Oh, it's good. It's good to see progress. It's good to see development because my first stuff was back porch kind of stuff, and some of my very first videos were interesting. But you know, I read somewhere if you're going to do YouTube, you need to commit to you need to commit to doing it for like 3 months straight and producing one video every day. And so I started really doing that about 6 months ago. And I mean, I was producing video on and off, but 6 months ago, I think I really started committing to it. I had a few breaks there, but as of the new year, I think I have some content every day, and I have my shorts every day. And I try to make the shorts different and unique, interesting. I try to get better angles, lighting, audio. So I just, I'm always improving. Where am I originally from? So I was originally born in Hørsholm, Denmark, which is outside of Copenhagen. And my mom was American, my dad was Danish, and then we moved to America back in the 70s. And I lived in Texas ever since then. So when I was about 7, I started learning to speak English and kind of picked up, the Texas sort of accent. But now I pick up accents wherever I go. but I really probably have more of a southern accent. Sometimes it comes through, especially if I hang around with my southern friends. If I start hanging around the ranch or something like that, I just start picking up the southern accent, and I don't even realize it. It's whatever I do. When I was up in New York, I guess I started sounding like I was from New York. People were telling me, and they thought I was mimicking them. And I don't hear it. I just pick it up. So English is technically my second language, but I've spoken English way longer than I've not spoken English. But then we lived in South Texas. I lived in Arizona. I've lived in Massachusetts. That was glad to be gone out of there. And then I went back to Arizona and moved to Texas. So I've been around a little bit. I've been almost to every state except for Alaska and Hawaii. I traveled a lot for business too, so I've done a lot of consulting, and I'm an analyst. I'm a software developer, programmer, configuration architect. So I'm a nerd. I'm a true nerd, but I like the nerdy side of stuff. I like the design and the aesthetic and how it all comes together part. So level one, I think I missed it. What can you always dream about? I missed it. Oh yeah. Okay. So the dreaming about the knives. Absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot of knives I do research, by the way, level one up, that I will probably never get, but I still enjoy researching them. I really do because they're really cool. There's quite a few. Like I would love to get a Sharp by Design custom, full custom. I would love to get a full custom Herman. Those are things that are down the road sort of things. I would love to get a sheer Gorf. Now, there's only two sheer Gorfs that I'm really interested in. At first, I just wanted a sheer Gorf. And then I saw them, and then I was at a knife store and I handled a sheer Gorf. And I have to tell you, there are some that I don't care for. Some of them that have the really, really small flipper tab. And I know that's a design and it's supposed to be the perfect, but I didn't care for that. I don't care for super, super small flipper tabs. I want to be able to make sure that I can actually, oops, see, again, I'm doing this wrong. I want to be able to use it correctly, right? I want to be able to flip it. Now, everyone is a little different. Like, my only disappointment with the Tau S is this flipper tab. This is what I would call close to some of those sheer Gorfs. You have to hit it just perfectly, because if you don't, right, if you go like that, it's gonna hit your finger. You're never gonna get it closed. You have to make sure it's a full light switch. You can't push button this. This one is absolutely a light switch. But everything else, the front flipper, the fuller, everything else is money. It's beautiful, right? It's just fantastic knife. But the flipper is not. It's not the best flipper. But that's the sheer Gorf that I tested. It had that little flipper, but then I saw there's others that actually have a fuller. They're much nicer. So that's just me. Yeah, I still speak a little Danish. Yeah, so I guess technically I'm bilingual. When I was in high school, I worked in a Walmart along the border, so I spoke a little Spanish too. I always understand Spanish probably more than I speak. Um, but I've also took German and I know Hebrew and Greek. So yeah, I guess I like languages. I don't think they're. I also like programming languages, so I kind of pick up on those, I guess. But yeah, Danish and English I do still speak. My wife says that I still dream in Danish. She can hear me sometimes dream in Danish. And if I speak Danish with my brothers or I'm in Denmark, I come back with a little bit of my Danish accent. You can hear the Danish accent like this. And that's sometimes she says when we speak Danish, we sound like we're drunk. Because Danish is like Swedish, but like imagine a really drunk Swede. That's what they say Danish sounds like. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I don't agree with that, but that's what people tell me. As a Dane, I should be offended by that. I just laugh. You just set up a ZTNA. What is the ZTNA? Can you tell me what that is, Rocky? Oh, you have a drunken? Oh, a sinker. Oh, the drunken. Wow. I have heard of that one. That's a really nice knife. If I'm thinking of the right one, at least if I'm thinking of what you're talking about, that's like one of those. We're talking like whippersnapper type knife, aren't we? The drunken, if I'm not mistaken, is like a whippersnapper type of knife that you were talking about last week. Oh my gosh. For real, electrobuzz? I did not know that. That is crazy. That is crazy. I guess I could tell you guys that in World War II, somebody in my family owned the mines in New Mexico where they mined all the cobalt for all the nuclear stuff, because that used to be exclusively mined out of Arizona, and that mine was donated to University of New Mexico. But that's where 95% of all the cobalt was mined in the 40s and 50s. But that, sadly, I guess I have some family ties to nuclear power and weapons, and anyways, I probably shouldn't talk about that. But it's now part of University of New Mexico. Okay, so the neutron flux. Well, it's also isn't the cobalt rods are the ones that's supposed to calm down the reactive parts of the core. I mean, that's what you regulate the temperature with, along with the water, and that's what you slow down the reaction. And you have to control that with the cobalt rods that go into the core, right? So I remember when I was in high school, we went to University of Texas, and they have a small nuclear reactor at UT. It only did like 50 megajoules, I guess, megajoules it produced. And you could actually look down the water because it was a small one, so the water was perfectly safe to look at. It's kind of weird now thinking back at how small that nuclear reactor was. But they actually had a nuclear reactor right on campus. Yeah, barbarian and Vikings, absolutely. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Zero Trust Network. Oh, okay. ZTN. So you're talking about, that's not even DMZ. We're talking about like firewall security, extra. Um, we're talking like DoD type of firewall access. So I do the applications that works with those networks. The network guys, I mean, it's different tiered groups that manage the different aspects, right? We have our network infrastructure, Unix, firewall, and then we have security on top of that that manages all of that. So there's a whole bunch of stuff. That's like with any company. Every company has that, depending on how secure you need to be or want to be. Boron. The rods are boron. All right, so that's so they had a mine in New Mexico, wherever. I guess it's the boron that's in the mines. Then I guess I don't know. It was that's where it was mined. The stuff that was critical to the nuclear. I want to say the nuclear, you know, blow up things, right? The bombs. Is it boron or is it the cobalt? When you actually create the ball itself, what covers the nuclear ball? Is it is it is it boron or is it the cobalt that covers the ball before it, blows up? I forget what that outer shell is. I remember something in high school they talked about that. Teravantium. Oh, so no teravantium. That's a bunch of cobalt. Yeah, that would be really bad. Yeah, that absolutely would be a nutty, crazy type of knife to have in in a nuclear place. I didn't know that because I've been in places where you have to wear the little radioactive sensors, right, and see how much radioactivity you have. But I didn't know that about the cobalt. That's really interesting. I didn't know it. I knew it was used in some way, but I don't know. Yeah, it can be really some of the cleanest fuel, and if we learn how to handle the nuclear waste, if you will. I mean, that's the only thing. People talk about the nuclear waste, but if it's handled well and efficiently, and we're willing to pay to do it right and not skimp on it, it's very safe. The problem is we try to make we get people who looking for profits, and it's okay to make a profit, but yeah, people get you want to make sure that greed doesn't circumvent safety. That's the only thing we got. That's the only thing about nuclear. If you have checks in place to make sure that greed doesn't circumvent safety, it's a really, really clean, safe sort of energy. Absolutely. Now, have you all looked at the research on the new fusion reaction that they did, where they're actually able to create more energy than they put into the fusion reactor, and why that's a big deal? Because that's the first time they were actually able to. Uh, I think they put like, what is it, 3 megajoules into it, and they got like 50 megajoules out or something ridiculous like that. Maybe it was even terajoules. I don't know. It was a lot. Okay, so zirco alloy. Yeah, you are beyond what I know here. I'm not a nuclear expert by any stretch of imagination. I've heard stuff, and it's random stuff, and it's not all tied together, and it's not been something I've researched. Um, if if I were to get into it, I would probably really want to research it, but I don't know enough about it, and I don't have. Usually, I research stuff when I have a need and a desire. So if I worked in the industry, yeah, you can bet that I would really research it, right? But that's why I research other things that I'm in. Like I research knives because I'm really into knives, obviously, and I enjoy the all the engineering and the design that works together. A nuclear truck. Well, we have nuclear subs, nuclear battleships, nuclear aircraft carriers. So there you go. Well, cobalt. We talked about it indirectly. The cobalt terravanium, those knives. I think they're made with a high level of cobalt, right? So we're getting back to knives via the cobalt. How about that? I do want to get a terravanium knife at some point. I've really been interested. I've heard it retains the sharpness well. My only question, if anybody has one, is it a very brittle kind of steel? Is it like the what is the other one? There's another, not terravantium. There's another one that's a very, very high edge. It's like in the 70 Rockwell hardness, and it's like a stone almost, and really expensive thin edge. Oh, man, I don't remember what that one is called. Oh, a nuclear ex-nuclear engineer, a sub-commander, as an instructor in college. That's cool. So there's a guy who swam. I just read your one note up there. I missed it. There's a guy who swam in the water and would eat radioactive materials. I assume he was okay, or did he like not make it? Or is that just because he was trying to show that it wasn't as dangerous as they said it was? Yeah, the Terravantium. Yeah, I've heard that too. The Terravantium is supposed to be ridiculous. Um, what is that? See if I can find it. There was one. I'd have to look it up, see if I have it on my saved list. Where are we? There's a not there. There's another one besides Terravantium, right? There's another knife. Man, I can't remember that. I've really been wanting to get that one, but every time I look for it, it's usually sold out. Let's find it. I have a save list, a wish list, and I think it's in there. Let's see if I can find it. Where's my wish list? Here we are. Yeah, there it is. The Sanhedrin, the Sandrin knife that has the tungsten carbide, right? Is it the tungsten carbide? Is that what it is? Yeah, tungsten carbide blade. So that's the one that I was looking at. That's not the Teravantium, but that's tungsten carbide. I don't know what's the difference between Teravantium and tungsten carbide. Obviously, different materials, but I don't know what's like the major differences besides what it looks and the brittleness. But I don't know besides that. Yeah, you're talking about the lecture buzz about the water. When we were at University of Texas and high school, we had some college competition for our junior engineering technical society. I was in JETS, that's what they called it back then. And we went to the nuclear power plant. And we got to go over there and look down, and you could see it glowing at the bottom with the rods and everything. And they were like, "Yeah, it's perfectly safe," even though we had the radioactive things on there because they just wanted to, assure everybody that we're all safe. But you got to look at it. It was really cool. And they turned it up and they got 5 megajoules coming out. And I think they just did one rod or something like that. But it was really cool. And they were like, "Yeah, it's perfectly safe. It's fine." And it was just kind of cool to know that there's a nuclear plant available right on the campus. Yeah, the tungsten is great stuff. So, do you have one of those, Rocky? Do you have one of the is it the who makes this one? The Sandrin. Do you have one of those? That's I want to get the there's the zirconium handle one. There's the Monza, the Sandrin Monza. That's the one I'd like to get. I think that would be really really cool. Yeah, the Monza. Yeah. Do you have that one level one up? I don't have anything like that. The the unique steels I have, I mean, they're all the basic steels. I don't think I have any, off the wall. I mean, I have RWL, 20CV, M90, MagnaCut, M390, sorry, S35VN, S45VN. What else? I think LMAX, Vanex Super Clean, ARR PM9. I'm thinking, what else do I have? Anything else that's unique? Got more MagnaCut. Yeah, I think that's about it for my steels. I mean, they're not anything super super. I have a Dama steel. Oh, no, I said LMAX, but that's about it. I don't have any of those. But yeah, that. Oh, I totally agree. It does look like a Home Depot knife. It looks like the Milwaukee one. Remember that Milwaukee knife? That's real. I mean, it is great. It's a great utility knife. If you're going to need a toolbox knife, get that Milwaukee. I forget what it's called. It's like 15, 25 bucks, and it has one that's like a button lock. It looks like the Milwaukee one. I mean, that to me it does absolutely. But the one that I was looking at is the one that has the tungsten handle, and then there's one that has the zirconium handle, and that is, yeah, that's very different than that red one. You're right. Yeah, you're definitely going to need a diamond a plate. Absolutely, you're not going to be able to do anything with that one with a. That's not a diamond plate, and don't try to use a stone on that. That's a waste of your stone. I mean, you'll be practicing on how to wear away your stone before you'll do anything to it. You definitely need like some of those plates that have maybe if it's a diamond, if it's a steel plate with the diamond on there, it'll sharpen it. You'll probably wear down your plate pretty quickly, but it will work on it after a while. But those are the kind of knives you wouldn't need to sharpen, I hear, for several years, right? Unless you're out there doing crazy things with it. But I mean, that's the kind of knife you're just going to be cutting with. You're not going to go bushwhacking with it and breaking logs with it because it'll shatter, I think, before that. Yeah, it's definitely on my list. That's the one I would like to get. They're all, I have it on a notification so that when it comes in, I would know. But I had a chance to buy one and I missed it. But I should have bought it. Yeah, the Milwaukee. That Milwaukee utility knife, I hear it's fantastic. And it would definitely replace a lot of my utility knives I have in my toolbox. Because I have some old ones in there. And seeing that would be really cool. I mean, it almost would be worth buying and reviewing it just for my toolbox. I could replace all those junky old ones I have. I could make content out of that. That would be a really good idea because you hear about them, and I can give you a fresh perspective on it and what I think about it as someone who has a bunch of other older utility knives. I mean, that might be interesting for some people if they're thinking about switching them out. What do y'all think about that? Does that sound like a interesting maybe review? I know you have one, Rocky, but maybe others might find that interesting. All right, cool. I'll do that. I'm going to put that on my list then. I'll go to Home Depot. I think that's usually where you can get it, right at Home Depot. So I don't have to order it or anything. I just go to Home Depot because that's like a staple there from what I gather. Matter of fact, I have a coworker that at the range, that's what he had forever. And he was like, that's all I need. And for months, he was like, that's all I need. And then I kept showing him knives. And then sure enough, I had a pyrite, one of the black pyrites in the steel. And I showed him that. And I said, oh yeah, I'm going to sell this. And he's like, really? So he bought it. And so now he's into knives and he's gotten that and some other knives. And he's buying knives that are a little more expensive. And he's, he asked me, do you have anything you're selling again? So it's just interesting how he got kind of hooked in, you know what I mean? Yeah, for a utility knife, I think it would be great for a toolbox. That's what I would look at it for. I mean, I would want it for my toolbox when I need to go cut things that I'm cutting wires, I'm cutting, heavy duty stuff, I'm cutting, I don't know, sheetrock, whatever. If I'm doing anything like that, I'm doing some heavy work where I need a utility knife. That to me just seems like it would be a great replacement tool. Yeah, I figured. So Kursk, you're saying the refractory metals. So refractory, you're talking about like the tungsten carbide, the terravantium, and stuff like that. Is that what you mean, Kursk, when you say the refractory metals? And refractory means, are you talking about how the process of how they make them, or is that you're talking about refraction, like refraction within the metal? We're talking about refraction indexes or something like that. I'm trying to remember back to my physics and inorganic chemistry days. That's a long time ago. You're knocking out some cobwebs. So if you see dust coming out of my ears when you start talking about this stuff, it's going back a ways. Yeah, I wouldn't pry. Just like, does anybody here legitimately pry with your knives? I would never do that. Now I know some old timers that they have a buck knife and they would pry with it, but then they also the tip has been broken off a few times and it's now pretty much a pry bar. Fine, that's fine. But I would never do. I would get a pry bar. I have two pry bars in my toolbox specifically for that. But if I all the time needed to pry, if I was doing work, I would buy a true pry bar. Like a second EDC. I would have it with my knife and a pry bar because that would be so useful to have, right? And I haven't even looked at pry bars, but that would be a valuable EDC tool, I think, for folks who really need it. I mean, you'd have to have a need for it, right? At least that's the way I look at it. It would be something that you have a need for, and that would make justification. Oh no, really? My wife went to do court. She was had jury duty, and she brought one of her really nice Exacto knives. It was for her crafts, and it was a really nice one. I remember I bought it for her. She brought it with her to the courthouse and forgot it was in her purse, and they took it and said, "Well, you can have it after the courthouse." As she was walking out, they were all gone. They had left like an hour or two before she was dismissed, and lo and behold, it was gone. So yeah, I can hear you. I think it's the same thing when you hear about people that go into the airport. They'll bring a really nice knife, and you can either leave and go ship it, or you just give it to them. And sometimes those knives at the airports are some really, really nice knives when people forget what they have. Yeah, right tool for the right job. Absolutely. Absolutely. People will say, I don't know if you guys had the same issue, but I was at a Christmas party with my wife's company, and they knew I was a knife guy, and so they had a bottle of wine that they wanted to open. It had the aluminum top part of it, and they're like, "Oh, you're a knife guy. Why don't you open this with your knife?" And it was one of those situations where I was under pressure, and I didn't have a really fancy. I had my Caviezo, the Ray Laconico Keen, the one that I have. I think it's over here. I had this with me. It's S35VN steel, but it's a Ray Laconico one. And so I opened the bottle around. Of course, I cut through aluminum, and then I was pushing against metal, so you know I rolled the blade all the way around. But I felt pressured that I had to do that, right? And so I did, and kind of regretted it. So I always said, next time I go to a party, if I carry this, I'm always going to have my fifth pocket with me. It's either going to be like a mini penguin or it's going to be like my baby banter. I always will have a baby banter because that to me is like my little junky, you know, not junky, but it's, you know, I can beat it up and not worry about it knife. Yeah, I know. I spent some time reprofiling the edge. This edge is much nicer now because it wasn't quite as even when I first got it, but I had since, I had since resharpened it. I didn't put a glass edge on here. I didn't sharpen it with I did it like with a 600 grit, so it doesn't look like it's a really fancy mirrored image, you know, mirror edge. I did that when speaking of, you want to hear a painful story? I just gotten this, right? This is my Crane's Cutlery exclusive Damasteel Mula, the Peña X series, right? It's in Damasteel, beautiful Damasteel, right? And I hadn't sharpened or anything. I went out to cut a box. And I just thought, hey, it's you know, it's Damasteel. You can cut boxes. And it was a heavy duty box. I didn't realize it was a box that I hadn't opened, right? But I went out to cut it. As I'm cutting it, I didn't realize there was giant staples in it. So I hit a staple and I just go across it like that, all the way across. I mean, you know, when you see those guys who do sharpening videos and they totally dull the blade, I totally dulled the blade. I chipped it, I dulled it. I had to rework the entire blade. But now I have a beautiful polished edge on this one, and it is ridiculously sharp. So it's sharper than it's ever been. But I will tell you, I never do that again. Yeah. I check the cardboard if I'm cutting it next time. I did. I literally was like, I grunted. I was like, no! I was like, just so mad. I can't tell you. I was like, why? Why did I do that? I was just so mad at myself. It was one of those where you're just like, you felt like you wanted to go, I'm an idiot. So yeah, I wouldn't do that. Now, one that could have handled that much better is MagnaCut, especially when it's at 64 Rockwell hardness. This is like ridiculous, and it retains the edge like crazy. I need to get more MagnaCut like this. My ProTech in MagnaCut, it's only Rockwell hardness 61. This is 64. McNeese does a great job. Now, the new ProTechs, all the Rockwell hardness of the new ProTechs, they're all at 64, 65. So they're great. But when they first did MagnaCut, they weren't as good. Yeah. So that's when I first decided, because of doing that and then the wine party, I thought at the Christmas party I would be fine, right? I didn't think I needed a fifth pocket knife. I figured all I would be doing is cutting boxes, maybe gift boxes. That's why I brought that knife. I thought this would be the perfect gift box, right? It's smooth. By the way, I put skiffs in this. It didn't need skiffs, but I had to clean it one day and I had extra skiffs, so I put it in there. And it was ridiculous before, but I gotta tell you, with skiffs, there's no blade rock. This thing is guillotine now. And there is no blade play whatsoever in this. And this is how it's literally a guillotine. Skiffs made this like buttery Teflon butter with Pam spray and Teflon and glass with, I don't know, whatever else you can possibly imagine that's oily and slippery. Perfect. But yeah, anyways. Yeah, good heat treat always makes all the difference. That's for sure. Absolutely. I've had a few where you get some M390s, and man, they strop up really, really, really fast. And usually that's because I also lose the edge really, really fast. But then you get some M390 and some 20CV or some LMAX, and it takes a long time to strop it up. And when you do that, then you know the edge stays a long time. I will tell you, this MagnaCut, it took me a long, long time to strop this edge before because it was pretty sharp, but I will tell you, it wasn't super sharp, and I was surprised to get that from McNeese. It wasn't like crazy, crazy sharp, but it is a very thin edge. but it's a thin edge also because it's a hollow grind. I don't know if you can see that. It's a crazy hollow grind because it goes all the way. It's a super, super deep hollow grind. But, and so the edge, the thinness down here is ridiculous. So you don't want a long edge, obviously, here. But because it's MagnaCut and 64 Rockwell hardness, this took forever, ever to strop to get it to the point where I felt like I had a crazy sharp edge. I like sharp edges, but I like to be able to whittle hair. You know, I feel like then it's worthwhile. I want to be able to drop it through or cut like paper towels. I like that. Rocksteads, yeah, those are crazy. Those are awesome. What is that? What's their steel? It's not RW. It's ZDP 89 or 189 or something like that. Is that what it is? I forget. I should look that up. Yeah, I don't. I have to look at ZDP 189. Yeah, okay, it was ZDP 189, and it's usually up to like 71, 72 or something like that, right? No, the skiffs are not pricey at all. By the way, usually in all the videos where I show you when I replace the skiffs, I try to put a link in there. And I usually have a link to his spreadsheet. He has a spreadsheet that he also maintains for all the knives that he has verified where the skiffs fit. I've actually probably given him about 10 or 15 or 20 of those entries for with the videos I've done. And so he adds those. I would say Kevin from Lefty EDC has probably done 50% of them, but I've contributed a little bit. And so, you know, he maintains those. So if the knife is in there, now I'm willing to try them. There's a few knives I've done that he hasn't put in there yet because they're not big sellers. But for instance, like I mentioned to him one that I think he should add, and I don't know if he's going to, but he should add is this one right here. It's not out yet. They had an early drop, the Javi Garcia, the Alacran. The skiffs on this one are just really phenomenal. But he finally added it, but it wasn't on there because they weren't really seeing anywhere. But I found out from Javi Garcia they're going to be dropping this supposedly May or June, maybe June I think it was. He said they're going to be going to the retailers. The ones that he did early are going to be like sort of an early release, right? And then they're going to have different variants of this. But this is a great knife. If you didn't get the early drop that he had, you have to wait till it goes to the knife retailers when he has more. But skiff are great. Skiffs are great. I've heard taco bearings are good too, but they're very limited in what they fit. There's only a few, but they are really good. Taco bearings are good, but they're not as widespread as skiffs. Now, there's a few ones I wish skiffs would fit. Like for the longest time, they didn't fit the penguins, but there is a new one that he had out that I actually ordered it. I'm going to try it on the penguins to see if it fits them. It's a smaller, much smaller. It's a not 1/6, it's 1/16 or 3/16 ball size, which is a very small ball size. Is it 3/16? Or is 3/16 pivot? I forget, but it's a, yeah. $67 on the ZDP at 189. Okay, 67. I thought it was up in the 70s, but 67 sounds, yeah, it's still crazy hard though. I know when they get that really polished edge on the ZDP 189s, like the Rocksteads, I know that those tend to, you can't scratch them because it's just so ridiculously well done. Is that what you've all heard? Oh, you know what? Let me see if I can find it for you. I think I can actually just give you the link right here. So let me see if I can find it. Skiffs. When I'm talking about the spreadsheet, at least. It's worth looking at the spreadsheet if nothing else. I save that as a link in my list just because I think it's really worth it. Here it is. All right. I got it. So that's the link to the spreadsheet for all the models that he has currently. It's a pretty extensive list. Yeah, that's what I hear. They do professional sharpening, and I hear it's definitely worth it. But what I understand, like a very high polished strop is like perfectly fine, and it buffs them up just fine, and it keeps the finish on there. So that's about all you'd ever want to do is a leather strop with a high polished sort of a material, right? Did I hear that correctly? I've never owned a Rockstead, so I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever own one. I would love to try one and maybe own one someday, but that's one of those that I don't know if it's my cup of tea because I don't think they're on I think they're in washers, but I hear their action is pretty good. It's like the Spyderco. I like Spydercos and they're in phosphor bronze washers. I like my Benchmade bug out, the 535-4. I mean, it's the one Benchmade I have left. I used to have nothing but Benchmade. Now I have one, but that's all right. I'm okay with that. Cool. Yeah, just ain't that. It's a pretty good list. There's a lot of knives on there, and if you have a knife, and if you're like me and you regularly have a bunch of the washers, you can definitely try them out on some different ones. I keep getting asked if my Makani fits any of the washers. It's a larger washer, and I don't have it yet, but I did order the washer that I think it might fit, so I'm going to try it, and if it does, then I'm going to submit it because it's not on the list yet. That's the limited edition Makani. I don't know if you remember that one. I don't know. I've seen variants of this come out. It's this one right here. It's hand satin belt finish. Beautiful action on this knife. Super thin blade. Crazy sharp. I mean, it's just such a thin edge. This is a slicer for sure. And I don't mind the fire anodized in a limited edition, right? I don't mind it here on the back spacer. I don't mind it on the deep pocket carry clip, and I don't mind it around the collar ring here. Excuse me. I'm not super, I don't like a ton of fire anodized. That's just me. I'm not a big Timascus guy either. I like a little bit, I wouldn't mind a Timascus clip. Totally fine with that. That would be along my aesthetic. I think do I have it? Yeah. I have a tactile turn pin. And I actually have a Timascus little, I don't know what you call this, the little clip here. That's made out of Timascus. That I really like. And so that's kind of cool. But anyways. It's definitely a slow roll knife. That's what I see. And if you like slow roll, it's definitely for you. And that was I had an Umnumzon, the Tanto shape, Chris Reeve. Beautiful knife. Love the look of it, love everything about it. But I will tell you that I couldn't really deploy it, and man, I couldn't tune that detent on the lock bar. It was so hard, and because the way the ball is set in there, it's not like it's a steel insert where you can unscrew it and then adjust your lock bar tension. I could never adjust it, and it was so sharp. It wasn't rounded. It hurt my finger. I could only carry that knife for like half a day, and because I flick my knives a lot. And because I couldn't do that, I ended up selling it. The good thing about the Chris Reeve Umnumzon is I actually ended up I bought a clip for it, the fancy hawk clip or whatever it was, and actually had the glass bead blasted, so it was much softer than the sand bead blasted. I ended up recovering the total cost of what I put into that knife. So they do retain their value very well, that's for sure. Just like Rick Hinderers do as well. There's a reason why they're in such demand. All right, have a good night, level 1. Is it level 1? Yeah. Have a good night. Thanks for joining us, man. I appreciate you guys being here. It's lots of fun. I'm blown away. You guys just want to hang out. I appreciate it. It's an honor to be able to talk knives with you guys. I learn as much, if not more, than you guys hopefully do. Uh, I, I I'm definitely I get to see what people are experiencing, what they've gone through, because there's makes me interested in things like the I'm gonna say this Rocky, the whippersnapper. Yeah, that whippersnapper. That's kind of my my Grail knife list. It's it got added and it kind of keeps moving up a little bit. You help move it up. I'll just say that. Oh, the you got the dem. Okay, so you got the 80/20 with the titanium scales. Is it the smooth scales or was it the textured scales? I had the 80/20.5 3V with the textured scales. I liked the knife a lot. I really did. It was a great knife. The problem was it would shred my jean pockets as much as my Chris Reeve Ununzon, and that I didn't like, and that started bothering me. Now I will tell you one thing that I've noticed. I believe that the earlier version, the shark lock part right here, this was much sharper in my 3V version with the titanium than it is on this latest S35VN version. This is not as aggressive and doesn't rip up my finger, and it's not as sharp. This is much easier to work with, and it doesn't hurt my finger as much. So I don't know if they smooth that up or what have you, but yeah. And I will tell you, Taiwan, the knives that are made in Taiwan by Spyderco and Demco, I wonder if it's the same plant because their S35VN steel, this is like Spyderco S35VN steel heat treat, because it took a while for me to strop this, but once I strop this, this is also crazy sharp and retains this edge really well. And I think it feels like it's got a good heat treat, a really good heat treat, matter of fact. So I wonder, do you have the 3V version? And if you do, how is yours? Because the 3V, the one I had, was ridiculous. It was great. It was, man, I thought, I wasn't sure if the S35VN would be able to compare, but it has compared. Now, is the S35VN going to be as strong as your 3V? No, not at all. But it's got better corrosion resistant, which is really what I was looking more for, because when I was using it out and sweaty and be in the yard or something, or be in the rain, or I'd be at the range or something, and I wanted something I didn't have to go home and have to oil down and worry about, right? Where the S35, yeah, I'm not going to worry as much as I would for 3V. It's just me. Okay, so you put the anodized aftermarket on it. I have the carbon fiber and the shark blade. Okay, so you have this carbon fiber here, the same one. And you know what? I was asked, is this twill carbon fiber on top of G10? And I will tell you, I think this is all G10. Now, I don't think it's all twill G10. I think it's a layer of twill G10. I mean, sorry, a layer of twill carbon fiber on top of carbon fiber. When I took this apart, there are, if you can see this, I don't know if you can see this, there are layers and layers that usually is typical of carbon fiber. And when you look at the inside, it is reflective and has the property of carbon fiber. It may not be like marble textured carbon fiber or shredded carbon fiber, but I'm fairly certain that this is carbon fiber all the way through. It may not be, this pattern all the way through. I think this was layered on top, which I'm okay with because they did a really good job though. It's not crappy and it doesn't peel or anything. But this, I think, is all carbon fiber. I don't think it's G10. Some people think it's G10, but I don't think it is. Yeah, I like the carbon fiber. I don't know about you, but I like the carbon fiber way better than the titanium. Absolutely, 100%. I think this is a much, more useful knife for me. I know like Metal Complex, he loves this titanium, but you know, he's got way bigger hands than I do. I mean, I'm probably his height, you know, maybe a little taller than him, but he's got bigger hands than I do. And I admit, I got meaty fingers. You know, I'm medium size length fingers for sure, but large widthwise. You know, I mean, they're meaty fingers, so they're large and widthwise. I don't have extra large. I don't have, you know, whatever. When I wear medium gloves, they're too tight to get my fingers through. But when I wear large gloves, they get in just barely. I mean, they're a little snug, but they fit. But then my fingertips, there's way too much room. So that's kind of, I need gloves that stretch. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I noticed on this too. And this is the Demco scale. And so I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I have my flashlight still. Where'd it go? Did I put it over here somewhere? I had, oh, here it is. So I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I can get this on camera. It might be too much light. Is that too much? Let's try to make sure it's not too much. Okay, that you might be able to see there. So I don't know if you can see the reflection in the layers there. And that is typical of carbon fiber layers, right? And if you look on the inside here, you can also see, I don't know if you can see that, the reflection. You can see the reflection on the inside. That's carbon fiber. G10 doesn't reflect like that. So that's why I think it's I haven't found any definitive paperwork anywhere. I know on Demco's site, they say it's carbon fiber. They don't call it carbon fiber layered or peeled carbon fiber on G10. Spyderco at least will tell you that, right? But they don't do that with Demco. So there's nothing that would not be to their advantage to be deceptive or not forthcoming to say that. And I don't see for them there'd be any reason for them to do that. So. Two knives in the top left. You're talking about this one here or these two? Top left, these two. If you're talking about that, the black and these two guys. If you just confirm once it catches up. If you are, I can tell you. I'll start talking about them, but let me know if it's not. This is the We Knives Trogon. This is a Brian Brown design. It's my favorite We Knives design, honestly. Right now, I haven't held the Ziphius. I think the Ziphius would probably have better action from what I've heard. It's not the aesthetic, it's not as pleasing to me, but the Exciton, which is a version of the Ziphius, that one, I think if I got a hold of that, it could probably beat this out. But this is the next, one of my other favorite ones. This is the high fin, as somebody already said there. Yep, thanks, Rocky. This is the high fin. This is a limited edition. This is not, so you'll still be able to get this. But this is beautifully textured milled, if you can see that. It's got some great texture, gives you a good grip, and it's even on the clip. And the action on this is ridiculous. And it's a hollow grind, compound grind. It's flat on the tip, and it's hollow in here, super sharp. And you can see the Brian Brown logo right there. Typically that's in here, but they didn't mill it out to put it there. And it's got brass accents and it's bronze anodized. So it almost looks like a River's Edge cutlery exclusive. This is sort of the colors of a River's Edge cutlery just about. So to me, I kind of like that. And I know River's Edge cutlery sells this. So it's kind of got the River's Edge cutlery. I had a Raptor version 2 that was a Rec exclusive. I liked it. I really did like it. But once I got this, I love this way more. The one thing I didn't like about the Raptor 2 was limited deployment, and I really like to have more than one deployment method, and that was a big deal for me, especially for the way that knife, I gripped it and carried it, and it was harder to deploy left-handed. If it's got to be really amazing for me to still, if I can't enjoy left-handed fidgeting, then that takes away for a knife for me. So I like that. But this one is also so much fun. Now it only has thumb studs, right? So it looks like it's very limited. But the way this one works is because of that high ground right there, I can easily put my finger there and do my middle finger flicking on this one. So I have multiple deployment methods on this one. And it reverse flicks, just left-handed, beautifully. It's very, very pleasing. It's just the detent for the thumb studs and even for the reverse flicking is just so much fun. I like this knife a lot. And the grip on this with this finger choil and this finger right here, it is like just a beautiful slicer. This is also hollow grind if you didn't know that. Beautiful hollow grind, super slicey thin. And man, crazy. Black titanium stonewash is what they call it. It's not going to be as hard. Both of these guys are not going to have the same Rockwell hardness as like you know, a plain titanium here. So I'm looking at probably 59. They say some of these could be 57, 58. My feeling on this is that I'm at the high end because I've had really good honing and sharpening and edge retention with that one. Oh, you bought yours at? Did you get one with the Timasca scales? Man, that 80-20.5. I'd have taken the 80-20 too, but the 80-20.5, I think it was $1,200 when it first came out. That was the most beautiful Timasca scales I had ever seen. I believe he made those Timasca scales himself. Everything else was the Taiwan plant, but the scales he actually created, it was just simply gorgeous. I couldn't justify that expense. But that was probably the most beautiful of all the Timascus. That would be one I got really close to considering. I'll just say that. That's cool. I assume he's just a really nice guy. He seems like it. All right. Good night, Rocky. All right. Get your kids to bed. Have a good evening. Thanks for joining. Probably need to wrap up here in a little bit myself. Maybe a few more minutes. We'll hang around 15, 20 more minutes. If anybody wants to talk a little bit more. But hey, thanks for being here, and congratulations on winning the knife again. I'll reply to your email once I get off here. If not tonight, maybe tomorrow, because I'm supposed to get my teenagers to bed and get them ready for school tomorrow. I think they have some testing or something they have to do for the state. There, you know, all that stuff. But you got the orange Grivery? Okay. Now, is it the Grivery or is it the FRN? When you say Grivery, is that because the FRN, I'm not a big fan of that FRN material. Yeah, just not a big fan of that. That's why when I originally got the Oz 10A one, I got one of those when it first came out, and I immediately bought the micarta scales. I wasn't really a big fan of it. It made me realize I'm not a huge micarta fan when I bought it. I liked it. It was a much better scales than the FRN, but it made me realize I'd rather have something like a fat carbon or something like that. But I did notice the Oz 10A, it had a crazy sharp edge, but man, it just did not last. It was super disappointing. It never lasted. It was just so disappointing. That's just my experience. Oh, the G10. All right, so the G10 looks like it'd be better, but it looked like it still had that diamond texture. So if it was anything like the titanium, I was curious. I was tempted to try the G10, but I was afraid that it would be as rough as the titanium one. I don't have it here. I mean, the closest thing that I think that I have to that would be, where is it? Oh, here it is. I have a Pulsar. You all talked about the Pulsar. I think Rocky was talking about it. Here's the Pulsar. It has that diamond texture, but the Pulsar did a really nice job. This doesn't rip up. The 3V version of the 80-20.5, that texture just, when it went underneath the clip, it would rip up my pants. And so I wasn't sure if the G10 was similar. Is the G10 as rough as that or no? It is quite rough, yeah. See, I was afraid of. Because of that, I'm glad. Thanks for confirming, because now I feel really good about getting my carbon fiber scales. I'm really super happy with this. Really happy with this. And it actually has some texture. I don't know if you can see that. It actually, you can see the reflection, but there's actually some micro texture. So it gives me some nice grip, enough grip that I'm not feeling like I'm gonna drop it, you know? And so I really do like that. That's really nice. So, yeah, it's not cold steel. Yeah. Well, you know, like the Chris Reeve Ununzan, when it's with the sandblasted, that's a great knife if you want to shred a pocket. I have 3 pairs of jeans that have a ripped pocket thanks to my Ununzan. And I didn't even carry the Ununzan that much, which is ridiculous when you think about it. Just taking it in and out of pocket for half a day, and it just destroyed and shredded my pocket. And that's why I sent it back to Chris Reeve and had a glass bead blasted. Was way, way better, but the damage had already been done. And so ever since then, I'm not a big fan. So what they did with the glass bead blasted, it kind of is like this Imamba has that glass. It's very smooth, very comfortable, but still has nice texture on there. So you don't feel like you're going to drop it, right? It's not like polished steel or something. Yeah, it was worried about it being too slick, yeah. Well, I will say, I mean, if you're dealing with oil and you're dealing with a lot of stuff like that, then, you know, obviously you're going to want something with texture, right? You're going to want something that you're not going to slip out of your hand. Like the Microtech Annex, I actually had that, and I sold that to Beard of Doom. He bought that for me off of one of the lives here. I sold my Annex to him, and he really likes it. It was too big for me. It was it was a knife that I wasn't going to carry. I carried it around the house just gently for a little bit, but I realized when I buy a knife, if I realize I'm not going to carry it for a long time, then I will carry it a whole lot less because I feel like I might sell it. I was like that with this at first. The more I carry this, the more I'm liking this. At first, I was very critical. My video I dropped today, you guys probably already heard, most of you guys were here, but what's the point, EDC? Welcome. I just saw you pop in and I didn't say hello, so hello. And Milton, sorry, I've been just chit-chatting with whoever's been talking, so sorry. I get talking about knives and I just keep talking, so just jump in if you got something, you have a different perspective, you disagree. We're all about being respectful and having a conversation because none of us know everything, right? And what I think I know, I can learn something. Absolutely can learn something. I always think of one of my favorite quotes is Albert Einstein. He used to say, "The more I learn, the more I realize how little I really know." And that's, I feel like, even with knives, the more I learn about knives, the more I realize how little I really, really know. And it's kind of cool. I mean, and to me, that makes it fun for me because it means that I'm not going to learn everything and I'm going to be done. And that bores me sometimes. There's some things that I've mastered, and then you're like, that's it? And then you're kind of like, okay, well, I guess we're done. I'm going to take a quick sip. My throat's a little dry. Oh, that's better. Yeah, so my last thought here is I think it's got enough texture. It really does. I don't know if you can hear that. So let me get to the mic. You can hear that? That's because of that micro milling. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can put the flashlight on here. I don't know if you can see that. See if I can really highlight that. Trying to get you to, I don't know if we can really highlight that. Yeah, it's mostly reflecting. That's not going to really do it. I thought the flashlight could get it, but let's see if we can get it up there. But I don't know if you can, here, I can scratch it with a nail. You can hear that. You hear that? That's the texture that's on there. So it's got some micro texture. Do you hear that? That's because of the carbon fiber. So I think that will give you some texture. I don't know. It's not super smooth. It's not slick. Like even this right here, this is the McNeese Auto. And it is black Cerakoted, right? I believe this is Cerakoted. It might be PVD. But it's aluminum handle. It's not the titanium. I wish I'd gotten the titanium, sure, but that's an extra $100. But I think the aluminum is just fine for an auto. I am looking for the manual version of this. Sorry, my voice is a little dry. But this still has that ProTech and that kind of texture to it. There's tackiness, and I like that. I like that. That to me works. Even the PVD, I mean the JG10 f5.5, it has some texture on there too. So you get a little tackiness, a little traction, which is just enough, right? It's not super slick. Even the Love Them knives. I know this is a weird looking knife, but it works really well. I'm really pleasantly surprised with this. But it also has that micro milling that's very similar, except this is Yeah, it's very similar to the Brian Brown Wee Nitrogon. It has that texture. See if you can hear that. This one also has that too. See? Can you hear that? So I think that's really nice. But ultimately, probably my favorite carry is going to be this one right now as a relative. This texture, everything about this is so comfortable. I know this is Best Tech, and Best Tech really knocked it out of the park. I took this apart. I finally cleaned it. I was going to tune this because I thought it was a little tight. When I took it apart and I cleaned it, it got just super smooth again. It wasn't like it was gritty before, but you know, I like a lighter detent, like you all know. But this now with it being clean, it's just beautiful. And I am gonna get the skiff washers for it. I'm gonna try it on here, and I suspect once I put the skiffs in here, it's gonna be kind of like what happened to my Ray Laconic Keen when I put the skiffs in here. And that drop, by the way, no blade play whatsoever, no rock whatsoever, no detent lash. It is solid in there. It's just literally the skiff washers are just that tight. I mean, I could probably make the detent bar, the lock bar, a little tighter and tune that in, kind of like Kevin would like, and it would still be the same. But I like it like this because I can easily reverse flick it because it's a flat grind. I can do the middle finger flick really easily, both left and right-handed. It's very easy to do. So, yeah, there's that. All right, it is starting to be about 9:45. We should probably be wrapping this up unless somebody else has some more questions or maybe some knives. Real quick, what is the newest knife y'all got? What's the latest knife every one of y'all got that's still here? I'm kind of curious. What's your last purchase or purchase that's about to come in? Maybe you have one that's about to come in. What's in the works or coming? Anything cool? Or if not, then what are you in the hunt for? What's the knife that you've been hunting for? What's your big grail knife for this week or this month or? Oh, the Ronin. Okay, yeah. The Best Techman Ronin. That does look like a really nice. The Mini Praxis. Yeah, that looks really cool. Now the Kubi, is it the Tidius? Tidius? I don't know how you pronounce that. I don't think I've seen that one. Let me look that up. I know Kubi has a lot of different knives. Is that a brand new Kubi, by the way? Tityus. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, that's a pretty good looking knife. It's got a nice fuller. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, is that the one you just bought, or is that the one you're looking for? That looks like it would be a really good workhorse. What's the size on that one? Oh, 8.5. So, okay, so it's a full size knife. It's definitely a full size knife. What's the steel on that? Is it 59? Wait, where's the steel? D2. So it's D2 with 5961 HRC. That's pretty good. I like that. A Devo Mash. Now, Kursk, when you say Devo Mash, did you order that? Like pre-order it, or is that something you ordered? Where did you get it? Is that the White Mountain Knives, the second drop? Wait a second. Was that what we were talking about earlier? Is the mash out? I think that's what I was asking, and I think there was a lot of conversation going on, and I never really came back to ask you and follow up on it. Is it? Trying to see, where are you? I thought the Devo Mash was on White Mountain Knives. No. Blue Creek Knives. Oh yes, Blue Creek Knives. Thank you. Appreciate that. Let me look that up. I actually have that link. I don't always go to Blue Creek Knives, and I really should, because I know they have some exclusives as well. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Look at that. And it's already sold out too. I think I actually, now that I remember this, I think I went here when it went on sale and I missed the drop. Or I got there late and it was already sold out. Okay. Yeah, that's a really cool. I like that design a lot. And 14C28 is a great steel for that. 7.5 inches with the blade. And yeah, you can definitely choke up really nicely on that. That's really cool. Yeah, I'm not a wire clip fan, as you all know, but I would definitely get probably a Lynch clip for that or an MX gear clip, just anything different. I get people love the wire clip. I just wish the wire clip was a little more robust. Maybe if they made it in titanium or just a little thicker, I don't know. That's just me. I'm just not a wire clip fan. That's why I replaced my, where to go? Yeah, I replaced this with a Lynch clip because to me that just feels better. It's just a personal preference, right? Some people love the wire clip, and that's totally fine. I think the Luft concept, the Avant by Bearded Gear, the one he has. Oh, what is that knife he has? I really, really like that knife if it just didn't have a wire clip. That's every time I look at it, I get really interested and I want to buy it. And then I look at the wire clip and I go, okay. Because I don't really want that clip on that. I want something nicer than that on that knife. I don't know if anybody makes a better pocket clip than the Lynch clip like this. Is there a more milled one? I don't know. Does anybody know about that? Okay, he's doing QC now. Oh, they're going to do a drop after the pre-orders? Oh, that's awesome. Where is he? Does he announce that on Instagram, or is that going to be something like? Would I need to sign up for a mailing list from them from Devo Knives? Where would I hear about that, or would it just come out from Blue Creek Mountain, from Blue Creek Knives? I was going to say White Mountain Knives. I was putting them together. That's cool. Oh, the Rook, is it Rook P138? Okay, let's see here. I want to make sure I got everybody else. Everybody else, did you all mention? I want to make sure I didn't miss somebody up there. The Finch Flint. Oh, okay. The Finch Flint. The mini practice we talked about. The Kubi. I looked at that one. That's cool. The bench. The Bestekman Ronin. I really do like that one. That's a pretty solid looking knife. It kind of reminds me of. I want to say I know it's not a fair thing, but the arc form. The kind of the look. If I'm thinking of the right one, that's the very first Bestekman one they came out with. But the Finch Flint, that one, I haven't bought any Finch knives, so I don't know about that one. Finch Flint. Let me look that up. Okay, that's not on Blue Creek Knives. Where would I find that? Is that one going to be something that's going to be on traditional pocket knives or Blaze HQ, White Mountain Knives, or E Knives or something? Yeah, I like it when it's lefty friendly. That's absolutely important. My wife's left-handed, and one of my kids is ambidextrous. So to me, that's just, I don't know. That just seems to be nice to be able to do. And who knows? Maybe one day I'll be carrying two knives in each pocket, and it'd be nice to have one that I can pull in my left-hand pocket and one I can pull in my right-hand pocket. Why not? And that's always a nice possibility. And I cut my finger a while back, and where I had to use my left hand for everything, it would be nice to have a knife that I could just switch out and then use my left hand for. I mean, I would be very limited on some of these knives here, right? Some of these knives, I mean, I could do it here. I could do it on my 80/20. I could do it. Yeah, that's the only two knives on this table where I can switch it out. Everyone else on these knives are right hand carry only. That's kind of crazy now that I look at this. I didn't realize that. I have a lot of other knives that can switch out, so that's important. Pronounce rake. Okay, so rake. All right. And that's the P138. I'm looking it up right now. Oh, oh, that's not a bad looking knife. I like that tanto shape. Wow. Yeah, that's a pretty cool looking knife. Now, of course, they gave him a bad rating here, and I don't know if that's because of, Amazon. Sometimes Amazon, you don't always get what it should be, right? So let's see here. Let's look at Blade HQ. Okay, that's pretty cool looking. Well, that price on Amazon was way higher than here, so maybe that rating was because of the price they charged. I don't know. But that's a nice looking knife. The mini penguin? Yep. What else? I want to see what else did I miss. I still didn't find that Finch one. Oh, there it is. Okay, you found the one? Let me look that up. You got the link. Let me take a look at that. Oh. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, you know what? Okay. Okay, full disclosure. I typically am not a Finch fan, and their aesthetic doesn't always appeal to me. Usually, mostly doesn't appeal to me, to be truthful. But that Finch, yeah, okay. I dig it. I like the JG10 especially. I really like that. I really am digging that. That is pretty cool. So it's in production. Then there's a drop. How much? Do we know how much these are going to run about for the Finch? Oh, hey, thanks. What's the point, EDC? I appreciate that, man. Thank you. The Black Ronin is definitely on. Oh, I've heard about that one. That one's pretty good too. Yeah, I got to take a look at that one. Might have Milton just posted on the Finch. I've been asking about that, and I was really surprised to look at that. That's okay. Full disclosure, that's the first Finch that I think I really would like to get. Okay, I know it's gonna sound. If you guys are Finch fans, I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend. We all have our different likes, right? But I really find that Finch knife extremely appealing, and that one is hooking me in. So there you go. I figured it would happen at some point, but that one really is. That's more my aesthetic. So cool. Okay, Frank. What's the point? Oh yeah, definitely. We'll check them out. Everybody should go check out the What's the Point EDC. Definitely go check them out. Please do. By all means, I'm going to go there right now, and I'm already subscribed. So there you go. If you haven't subscribed, go check out What's the Point EDC. I've already subscribed to him, but if you haven't, you should definitely go do that. And there's the Adamas. I had the Adamas. I'll be honest. What's the point? I've been kind of toying with the idea of buying a mini Adamas in the carbon fiber. I really liked the Adamas I had, and I got rid of it because I had so many Benchmades, and I got over Benchmade, and I got rid of like almost all my Benchmades except for my bug out with the aluminum scales, the 535 4. And looking back on it, I regret getting rid of my mini Adamas because I had a big Adamas, the regular Adamas, and a mini Adamas, and I wish I'd kept the mini Adamas. Oh well, maybe I'll get that again, especially since it's now in carbon fiber, right? $145. That is a great deal on that Finch. I'm for 154 cm. For the look of that with the JG10, I see. I'm really digging the JG10. I'm not into, and that's what really got me because, truth be told, the wood stuff doesn't appeal to me. That weird textured, I don't know if that's G10. It kind of, I know that's very typical of an old, traditional pocket knife, but JG10 I really like. And what I also like about JG10 is I am about to get another dye color. I have orange dye color that I got for Christmas for my wife. I'm going to be testing dyeing some of my JG10 scales. I have some other knives that I want to test on. I want to test on not one of these nicer knives first, obviously. I want to be able to make sure I understand the process, but I would very much like to do that. And I think that JG10 Finch one, I could see that looking really nice in either an orange or black, or perhaps even, I don't know, a red. I don't know. But just, or maybe a gray. I don't know. Or just a jade. That's nice too. You like the ironwood? Yeah. Hey, if you like the ironwood, go for it, man. And that is, who knows? Maybe I'll like the the different wood textures. Like I know the Chris Reeves Benzas, they have all those inlays. Some of them, I'm not a big fan, but every once in a while, I kind of go, oh, that's interesting. Like for instance, here's something that I didn't think I would like this. This is the space coral, but it's very similar to what I would think and have seen similarly to some of the wooden designs. And I dig this. And every time I dig this, it does allow me to appreciate some of the other wooden designs more. And that's the whole thing. The more exposure you get, and when you see a design come together, it can change your mind on something that you traditionally may have not liked. Just like the Finch right here. I'm really surprised how much I enjoy the aesthetic of that drop point. You know what it reminds me of? That's what it is. Yes. It reminds me, and I love this knife, by the way. My Dan Carrer, when you look at that, you see the drop point on there? This is similar, but not. It's a little similar. It's different shape. This is Dan Carrer. This is his DTF. And it's got that sort of, I don't know, is this considered a clip point, harpoon? I don't know, clip point. It's got a recurve, a slight recurve, but that's what it reminds me of. And I like that design. That's what it really jumps out at me. So, anyways. Not lefty friendly. Is it not lefty friendly for real? That's a bummer. Yeah. Well, I do know Dan Carrer, he made, and this one right here, he made lefty versions of this. So he might still have lefty versions on his site. If you like that that Finch one, but you like this design, he actually will make, he had lefty variants of this. So it might be worth checking out. I haven't been there in a while, but it might be worth checking out if you like that, to see if he still has some of the lefties of these. And that's fully a left-handed. It's not a reversible, so you get that nice, beautiful show scale as a lefty on your lefty side. So it might be worth taking a look if you're for lefties. Yeah, that is a bummer. I wish they would be more attuned to that. That's why I appreciate, like Vero Engineering, he has left-handed drops. I believe Varga Knives had left-handed drops. I know, I'm pretty sure if I recall correctly, Rick Hinder had left-handed drops, if I remember correctly, or at least scales that could go left-handed. Maybe I'm not thinking correctly. I know Chris Reeve has left-handed drops. I mean, that's nice when you at least offer that, right? I get that the percentage is not there to drop a large amount, but you should at least have it there and offer it. Yeah, of course. I think that's like Lefty EDC. He's very ambidextrous when it comes to his knives. There's some knives he really enjoys so much that he'll use the right-handed, and I see that. But you can always tell when he finds a lefty version of it, it just makes him happy, and I appreciate that. Imagine if we were in a world and I was one of the few righties, and everybody was left-handed. I would totally be in the same boat. So I hear you. My wife's left-handed, so I always have to be sympathetic. There's knives that literally, I look for her that she can switch left-handed. Like she got I think I got her a Spyderco Ladybug that can be ambidextrous, so I made it left-handed for her. And she really wanted the little pink one. And so she got it. She likes Spyderco. And I'm like, hey, she wanted a knife. I'm going to give her a knife. I mean, I'm not going to argue on that. If she wants to carry a knife and she wanted a Spyderco, you don't have to ask me twice. You know, I'll absolutely get her a knife. If she asks again, I'll get her another knife, but she hasn't asked, and I've tried to offer, but she says no. Yeah, I understand. Definitely, absolutely true. That's why I like the budget, QSPs. The budget QSPs, they're always pretty ambidextrous. Um, the knife that was won last week, matter of fact, just was received by the winner this week. It had a clip that literally was out of sight, would go inside behind the scale, and it was definitely a swappable. It was a mini that had the red G10 and carbon fiber scale on there, and it was easily swappable. Now, the traditional pocket knife special limited editions, these are only righties. I think if there was enough demand for them, I'm sure he would entertain lefties, but you know, I don't think there's enough demand to have a whole run of left-handed variants of these, so it's probably not one that we're going to see lefties for, unfortunately. But there are certain knives out there that are absolutely in demand enough that they're going to do it. So, all right. Well, it's a little past 10. I think we're going to have to wrap it up here, guys. And I really appreciate you guys hanging out and talking knives. It's been a lot of fun. I have appreciated. Hey, thanks for sharing the knives with me. I've definitely found a few knives I'm definitely going to be checking out for sure. I hope I answered everybody's messages. If I missed something, let me know because I try to keep up. It's there's a lot of things there, and I'm trying to follow the thoughts and looking over here on my computer to see what you're sharing, and I want to make sure I'm following all of that. But if I missed anything, let me know. It's been a lot of fun, guys. Thanks for being here. I'm going to see if I can do it next Monday, another giveaway. If not, it'll be a week from then. I have a couple more knives, definitely for that. And I'm hoping as we grow that we can get real close to, maybe having more giveaways. And the more we do these, it does help me get toward that monetization, honestly. So I appreciate you guys hanging out because I just need the hours. I'm so close in the hours. Getting really close. You have to, I don't know if you know how it works with YouTube. You have to have 1,000 subscribers. We're definitely there. Totally blown away by that. Thank you. But then you have to have 4,000 hours of watch time. And it has to be the regular videos. And the live stream does count toward it. So live stream really helps out when we hang out here. And I know that's why a lot of people do live streams. I just don't want to do live streams to bore you guys to death. I want it to be something that it's fun for you to be here. You can win something. And then we talk about knives. I mean, that's kind of what I like. And I'm cool with that. And we talked a little bit about nuclear power plants. That was interesting. I like that. That was really kind of cool. So, and then we talked about English as a second language for me. That was interesting too. So that was fun. It was a good evening. Appreciate it, guys. Well, I hope you guys have a great evening. Thank you again. I'm going to sign off and say goodnight to you all. And I will give you a knife salute and say thanks for being here. Bye, y'all.